Pound the alarm, y'all. I haven't checked. Is it still 17? It keeps fluctuating. Let me look. Welcome to the live stream of today, the weekend for a lot of you. Otherwise, Saturday in America. What's up? Let's see. Plasma, onward and upward. Yes. Panelverse, hello. Ha, when it gets... I know, anybody that could follow logic knows that I want against Andrew Wilson. I don't know about the second part, about... That sounds like something that happened after. I don't know what he didn't stand by, because I don't know what he claimed to stand by. Oh, Cyber Caliphate. Thank you very much. Nick Volt. I know, see? It was 16 when I left the house this morning. And then when I got home, it was 17. I agree, it is going in the wrong direction because I wanna reach it by Monday because I'm off Monday and we can have our shirtless disco party. We could play all day. Oh, wow. Brotherhood of Death is a brother in Christ with moi, the Christian Satanist. Hello, African and Shift. What does at midnight mean? First of all, how it's like 4 p.m. here. It can't be 25 at anything where you are. I know y'all are weird, but y'all can't be that messed up. Second of all, what is at midnight? Is that the 25 minutes before midnight or the 25 minutes after midnight? Of midnight? At midnight. Hello, Ricardo. GMT? Because it's on the hour right now. When I went live, it was the top of the hour. So it couldn't possibly be 25 of anything. All right, we have a guest coming in, the renowned and infamous... Oh, actually, I'm glad you're here. Welcome.
Well, I'm worried if you say you're glad I'm here. I mean, I hope you're glad that I'm here, but...
Well, yeah, well, for different reasons, because I had to... You were on my mind lately. I had to talk to you about something.
Oh, that's good to know.
Because you're affiliated with Dutchy and Chink. So
oh, you don't like
you actually, my troll sensors were never up around you, but now that I know the connection, it's making me have extra scrutiny with you.
Okay, this Dutchy was actually the only person who ever got me to really lose my temper on the internet. And you know the rule, like when somebody's trolling you and you're trying to troll them back, whoever loses their temper first and says something which is ridiculous, you automatically lose. And I was very impressed that she got me to do that.
Oh.
However, because of that, I was like, oh, you know what? We'd probably get along if we knew each other. And so, yeah, we're friends. I don't troll with her. I don't troll with anybody.
I thought you do troll. You kind of have a reputation as one of the...
I don't know why.
The master trolls.
Yeah, well,
but
now,
I don't get trolls from you at all.
I've never
to me, you don't seem like you're trolling at all. That's why I want to.
Well, yeah, I mean,
resolve the dissonance.
On your channel, on the Machine Lies, all of those aren't troll channels. I actually go there for interesting discussion about interesting topics. You know, during COVID, I was really bored and did what now I see other people doing, like going on every single panel. And then, you know, when you have nothing to talk about, you just find things to annoy people. And you know what? Dutchy's really good at it. She's so freaking annoying. And Dr. Chink, I think I met on your panel. I think.
Oh.
But
Because
then
I thought y'all were part of the little troll
no,
crew.
and then I guess he goes after that. What is it, Mike Cerrone? And there's he was telling me that he saw some of the videos which I did against Mike Cerrone, and then but I don't troll. I come here because I want to talk about interesting stuff. In fact, I was on a panel right now, and these people were just fighting with each other over YouTube drama, and I said, hey, I gotta go so I could come here because I'm trying to get you
Oh,
more
okay.
subscribers because I see that you've lost some.
Well, yeah, yes, I'm
I
flattered
like
that you
it.
chose us over the drama because we are trying to be that little oasis that people can come to get away from that all of that.
Yeah, and debating about topics is different than drama. I mean, we can
Yeah.
disagree about stuff.
What's on your mind, topic wise, and welcome African.
On my mind, nothing really. It's Saturday. Um, my wife is out shopping, and I was going to play video games all day, and then I sort of jumped up on a panel because I'll tell you what's on my mind: ADHD and Adderall. That's on my mind.
Oh,
What is that? What you take?
I'll get to that.
I mean, honesty is everything. I mean, that's why I love
Well,
this channel as well.
I'll get to that. There's sort of this, and I've seen this around quite a few panels now, where people try to use autism or ADHD or even taking Adderall as some sort of an insult. Because I don't think a lot of people understand what exactly ADHD is and what Adderall does. Absolutely, I take Adderall.
Okay, hang on there, sir.
I would not be a PhD of physics if I did not take Adderall. It changed
You
my freaking
reckon?
life.
Wow.
how
And
old
and
were
I'm
you
not.
when you started?
It
I was
changed your
actually
brain?
a little bit later in life. I started at age 27.
So
I
you were
actually got my.
already in college.
Yeah, it was. I mean, I went to college right after high school, but I kept dropping out. I was getting frustrated because we'd study for a test, and all my other fellow students would get together. I'd be teaching them how to do this, and then when I take the test, I'd end up getting like a C or worse. I get back the test, and they're just such stupid errors. And I got really frustrated. I thought I was being dumb and this and that, and then finally, my psychiatrist was like, "Well, why don't we try a stimulant?" And um, I had to take this test because, to test if Adderall is statistically helping you, and it absolutely does. And I think it's silly when people make fun of it because it's really not that big of a deal. It's like making fun of somebody who takes blood pressure medicine.
Yeah, or bipolar medic, or
Exactly.
even
Or
antipsychotics.
yeah, people think that these drugs for the brain are somehow bad. Now, yeah, I do agree things are overprescribed. Um, there is no one objective test to see if you have ADHD. It's hard, but um, results matter, and it works for me. So there you go. It works. May not be right for everybody else. So yeah, I do take it.
Okay, but without like modern medicine, that wouldn't happen, correct? Anyway, that's where we are.
Yeah.
Uh, I think like with the 90s, those kids where it started, right? Ritalin and all that shit started with kids, right? Drugging kids because their kids
Yeah,
weren't
somewhere
like,
around there.
high
Yeah,
end.
yeah.
There was an argument of why this thing happened in big pharma, of why we went down to this degree of understanding brain chemistry to try change it, and in many forms, from schizophrenia, like you say, to your prescribed ADHD or whatever it is, and whatever anyone else has. Because I'm not going to break that down to like a I'm not a doctor in any way, but I've seen what doctors have done to people when it wasn't good because of drugs they're giving them in the
Well,
name of,
I've
yeah.
seen the
I'm
good
serious, bro.
too.
It's I've
That's
seen.
you're right. I mean, there's been some badness. I mean, in fact, it wasn't that I started on Adderall right away. I mean, doctors they're very quick to diagnose, and I think they diagnosed me with things which I absolutely don't have, yet gave me medicine for it, which actually sort of made everything worse. But a lot of it is trial and error. I wouldn't say it messes up brain chemistry. I mean, all Adderall does is increase dopamine and not epinephrine is the is the fake drug, but we used to call it something else. It's basically your natural body stimulants, and it basically prevents uptake of this in your prefrontal cortex, which improves working memory. You're able to remember stuff easier and focus on stuff. And even like I can't focus on mindless tasks.
You do know how many people have, there's a shortage in it because of this.
Yeah, especially
Mhm.
in the state I live in because of archaic drug laws. Because I mean, it's
No, no,
amphetamine.
not just no, it's happening in Britain as well and Europe as well throughout because of the demand, supply and demand is only one thing.
Absolutely, yeah. I
So,
mean,
so it means that it's grown with what because they've all of a sudden medicine
well,
subjectively over this area. Okay, medicine. Think about it globally.
why I don't
Oh,
prescribe to the argument that it's overprescribed is because Adderall is already generic. Doctors get no financial benefit from prescribing Adderall, nor does the company which makes it. I mean, for example, when I get Adderall, it's just generic. I think it's made in Israel or something. It's not like those. Well, maybe you don't see this in Britain, but the commercials here in America where everybody needs a new eczema medicine, from mild to severe. It's not a designer drug. It's generic. I mean, I pay $10 a month for my Adderall, so I don't know what the reason would be for overprescribing it. Um, Other than people themselves are self-diagnosing, going to doctors, going, "Hey, look, I have ADHD." Since it is subjective to diagnose it, I could see a doctor just saying, "Okay, well, looks like you do. Here you go. Here's some Adderall." I'd buy that,
supply and demand. Anyway, if it works for you, it works for you, buddy.
But do
If
you
it's
and
take
that's
calmed
it,
you
really
down on
African?
that,
really
whatever
all
you
that
do.
matters. I know people feel
Oh,
strongly about
but
giving drugs to people, but
it's still a chemical change in your mind. You know that.
no, well, taking
Yeah.
caffeine
Well,
is
it's very individual. It's
yeah.
I'm
different for
not.
each person. You can only really worry
I'm not
about
denying
yourself.
this. I'm
I
not
mean,
denying that medicine plays part of.
caffeine,
Yes.
many things
Yes.
alter the quote
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
chemistry
Yeah.
of the
Yeah.
mind, and amphetamine itself is
Yeah.
natural.
Well. Yeah. Yeah. But yeah. Okay. 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 I
I mean,
understand.
you get it from cocoa leaves. In fact, there's a pharmacy right by my house, which is one of the few places in my state where they produce cocaine. Because some drugs use it legitimately. It's also used for some anti what
Oh,
do you
well,
call
the
it?
best cocaine you get is in hospitals because they use it to dilate babies' eyes to look
Yes,
at them.
yes, yeah.
So it's
So
100% these days. Still where it started, right? I mean, was it heroin started because of cocaine? I think it was. They
yeah,
created
I mean,
heroin. Yeah.
actually,
Okay.
amphetamine salt, I believe it was very similar to a drug they used to sell in the 80s to women to lose weight called Dexatrim.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
remember
So
Dexatrim.
You used to be able to buy it from the
what
the
was
grocery store.
yeah, but what was the don't make you sick pill that became thalidomide? Was it? Is that
Oh
right?
yeah, the which with all the arms
There
and
we
yeah,
go. So
yeah. I
we
mean,
know. Don't worry, we've seen this throughout the world.
in
Of the
fact,
horrors of medicine.
well,
Of
we've seen the horror of a lot of things. That doesn't mean we get rid of them.
no, no, no. Of course not. No, no. We've chosen. We beyond that now as humanity, aren't we? We're way beyond that.
Well,
Beyond what?
that's
Well, beyond actually having these arguments about, in some respect, what is ethically right and what we have in data that comes
How are
from
we
horrible
beyond
things.
that?
I don't
Well,
think we're. I think the debate is
yeah.
still relevant. In
We're
fact, that's
Yeah,
how
never
I
going to be
found.
beyond that.
but don't you think China and all that has been doing that with their people, or India? It's
Doing
happened
what with
anyway.
their
Nobody really
people?
cares about the regulation of that. So you take what you do under those, guises of what you're allowed to, accountability of the doctor.
I don't know
It's
what
your
you're talking
choice in
about.
the end, right?
I think especially here in the United States, since we do direct marketing and medicine to regular people, the patients themselves have some responsibility to evaluate what your doctor is saying. I mean, I can speak firsthand as a fairly smart person, able to read what a drug is and this, and once I had a doctor give me Seroquel, which I didn't take because that's a antipsychotic for bipolarism. Like, what the hell do I need that for? But without anything, oh, you need this. Like, no, not taking that.
Holy shit! Somebody try to give you that, really?
Yeah, and this was because of my ADHD. I was like, nope. So you know what? I went to a different doctor because I knew that.
What was it? One of your drinks that had or Librium in it, I believe.
Oh, no,
Is it
laudanum. Are
the
you,
green one?
yeah, the green one, absinthe.
No,
Absinthe.
no,
Yeah,
no.
I have a bottle right here.
Absinthe is wormwood. This one is what is
Oh,
it
yeah, you're
called?
right. Yeah, there's
Um,
another one you're talking about.
no, no, it's American. It's early days when they made these weird tinctures.
Oh, wait,
Um,
are you talking about Seven Up?
is it? No, it is Seven Up, isn't it? I think
Yeah,
it is.
well, no,
Yeah, yeah,
Seven Up had lithium in it.
lithium in it. Yes, that's
Yeah,
right. Yeah,
yeah.
originally, yeah. And oh
Uh,
wow, hello.
Hey,
yeah, and lithium is used as a drug in small doses for
Yeah, yeah.
making yourself feel better. Now,
Well,
uh,
not making
I'm
yourself
pretty
feel
honest
better.
about this
No.
because now in California, because on Reddit, when I doom scroll on Reddit, I keep on getting adverts for it. I really want to try ketamine.
Be
they do
careful with
that
that.
up here.
Be
They have
careful
like
with that. Be
certified
very careful about
ketamine
it.
therapists. You go to their
No, don't do
office.
that.
Yeah,
Don't do it. No, don't do it. I'm
yeah,
serious. With K,
that's what
you
my
don't want
wife
to go
said. My
Hey,
crazy.
wife said,
I know it from the gay clubs where everybody
yeah.
was in a K
Just
hole.
don't do it.
Oh,
They're sitting there.
no, in the clubs, I know friends who they call it Special K.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
and now it's a
It's panic
fancy
day. Yeah.
therapy for
Look, it's not for us. It's it's a tranquilizer
it's for
mainly.
them and the
So
horses.
it's made for horses, huh? So you take it in doses, no
I didn't
matter what.
even know what it was. I'd sit there and I'd
Yeah,
see these people. And
tranquilizer.
I'd say, "What's
Fucks you
wrong
up,
with them?"
man.
And they'd say they're in
An
a K hole.
inhibitor.
And they
It's
say,
an inhibitor
I
to
said,
where you
"What is
were.
K?" They said it's a tranquilizer that veterinarians use for animals, and
Yeah,
that
yeah.
was all I needed to know. After
Yeah,
hearing that, I had
fucking
no
horse.
desire to ever try
The
it.
size of horses. And I've gone into a fucking house once, okay? And these guys cooked up their own fucking K. I don't know why they wanted to do it, but they fucking did it. I walked in there and the next day, and they were shitting down the halls, and they were drunk and puking. They didn't know what they were doing. That was awful. It was a sight. I
Yeah,
walked
making
in.
your own drugs is probably bad.
No,
You know,
no,
I
I've,
once
I've
got in
seen that
trouble.
again. If you got the good chemist and you know what you're doing with the drugs, so I've done like Molpitter. We call it Molpitter or Datura. Have you ever done that? Datura?
Oh no, that's that's
So
the
we
Jimson
called it
weed.
Molpitter where we come from. We made a tincture out of it, which is
They had it in New
a
Orleans, but
neuro
I
and
didn't
yeah, it
touch it.
fucking fucks your head up, man. You walk and you think you're walking, bro.
You
You
did
just
it?
hit a wall. Wow, damn. Yeah, they made
Oh,
it. Yeah.
that's one
I
of
don't
those
know.
ones that
We had a
they say
chemist.
do
We had a
not
guy
fuck with.
who was working at the time at a university. So he had access to lots of things, and he was cool with it completely. So, and I was, then a kid in high school,
Oh
for real. No, no, I shit you not. I mean, these guys were
no, I
making it
totally
some of
believe
the
it.
time. They were
I'm
mad,
getting
man.
to
They
know
were
you.
good chemists.
If I had my own raw ingredients and I knew that there were good raw ingredients, then for personal use, what's the big deal?
Like the law, like criminal stuff,
Well, yeah, the law would probably have a problem with it, but
and the amount of effort
Hang on,
just to get high.
but Jeff,
I well, I like chemistry. It would be fun.
yeah, but Jeff, the whole thing about the war on drugs, we know hasn't worked. You can
No,
unpick that no matter what. So when it comes down, again, like the fraud that comes in from India and China, the generics they try to bring into your legitimate, uh, uh, you know, commercial enterprise.
I heard the Indian generics are pretty good. I don't know about
hey
the
Angela.
But
Chinese
it's
one.
still generics. But,
But the war on drugs was directed to normal adults like us that
no,
might be in danger of using drugs. There needs to be a war on what we see today, which are the zombies standing on the street corner
Yeah,
yeah,
in the same
but hang on.
pose for
A
8 hours
lot
a day and they
that
can't move.
that yeah.
That's we can't just say that doesn't work. Just
We're
let
arresting
them
of,
like
people for having marijuana, yet we let that go on in freaking
yeah,
Kensington.
yeah. Have a closet or yeah, exactly. No matter what you actually look at, like these drugs, if you're going to break that down, have come through what they would say. No, they are. They generics, aren't they? They're not real. A lot of them are fake drugs.
Flo, you might as well come up
Well,
if this is going to be the
they're
conversation.
chemically created to act the same way, but as soon as the brain gets it, the body gets it. As the brain and body breaks it down, it doesn't do the same thing a natural compound would do. And India and China are especially good for this, so they know what they're doing, as well as Mexico and whatever fucking
Well,
thing
India really helped
Whew.
with the anti-HIV and AIDS drugs because they were compounding them there and selling them here in the U.S. for a hell of a lot cheaper. Which I just learned what a compounding pharmacy is. Like we have one by our house. I was like, what is the difference? And I guess they'll make your drugs there.
Yeah,
There, there are a lot.
they have that in Seattle, but even the regular pharmacy, I had a prescription for a compound prescription for something a while back, and I had to take it to this special pharmacy, and the insurance covered it a different way than normal
Yeah.
prescription. But it's a very distinct category, and I
That's
did have to
magic,
take it
guys. You know,
somewhere special to get it filled.
like the Britons are lucky this way that we don't have to pay we pay a national NI insurance. They say.
Yeah, that's American subsidized the world's medicines.
Yeah, I agree with you there, sir. I do agree 100%. I mean, I grew up in Africa, so we had to pay fucking insurance there anyway. But you know, the influence that I saw then in America had actually lost its grip on Africa a while ago. They shouldn't have let go, man.
Oh
Should
my
have,
Well,
God! Wait, hang on. Flo, explain that to me because I'm like 17 away from 1K, and I want to figure out how to get there. What kind of drive can I do? I want to get there by Monday. Oh, somebody's in the back. Let's see. Who is this? Can you flash your cam?
flash your can, baby. That sounds really bad,
And do you
bro.
have a channel? Go ahead and put it in the back. You
so
you,
Dr.
you look
Chang,
familiar.
I
I know,
worked out.
my bro.
Were you
Do you
friend?
Um,
know Joe Haribo?
I have no idea who that is.
comic boy. You're cool,
Tuesday
man.
Joe. Joe with a 3
Oh,
for a
plastic.
D. Plastic know me.
I have a fetish with thermonuclear weapons.
Do you? Fucking hell. So you're a Fallout guy as well.
Actually, this earlier today, I was talking about my idea to make
Boy,
sex toys
really?
shaped as warheads.
Wow. Jesus, man.
Well, we
Do you
don't
know
kink
what's
shame
interesting?
around
Like
here
when we
unless
went
it's
to
really, really
Pristina, okay,
gross
it was
and
funny.
fucked up.
Like I was only there for like public order duties. You know, Pristina's in Kosovo. I think, you
African,
know,
do you know this Haribo guy?
no, no, I don't.
All
I
right,
don't know
I'm
who.
gonna bring
Plastic
him on
know
the
me.
overlay.
And be careful.
Um,
Always be careful,
all
buddy.
right, Joe.
You know that.
Dude, you're still gonna get porn bombed.
Yeah, one day he's gonna do. He's gonna be careful, man.
Joe,
So,
you're here.
Plastic. You didn't ken Jojo, you fucking liar.
there we go. There we go. He's
Do you
trying
know him?
to. He's trying
Is
to.
he okay to
Plastic.
have
Come on,
on?
come on, Plastic. It's Jojo, Joe Care,
He
in
sounds
it, Joe
fun.
Haribo, in it, Plastic.
So
Plastic
what's up, man?
African, you know, Plastic, man. You were the one that asked me, do you remember the Klansman? And I'm like, I'm 44, bro. Wait, who? And what he was talking about, guys, he was talking about. Come on, Plastic. You were talking about what was the Klansman? It's a radio thing, isn't it? Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's
Do
correct.
you
It is.
know him
Oh,
now?
Yeah. Come on, it's Jojo.
It's
Come
Jojo.
on, listen.
Okay.
I'm not a porn. I'm not a
You
porn
don't mess
bomber.
this up, bro. Okay.
Fuck off,
Well,
Plastic. You little
you know
cunt.
me and my show. Is he
Okay.
somebody I'm gonna want to have
Yeah.
on the
I
panel,
know
or should
Gen
I
F.
take him
I
off?
know Gen F, Gen X. You know me too, Gen X, man. I'm Scottish Joe. Remember that, like arsehole? I never porn
You were.
bombed you.
Oh right, I think I do remember
came
you.
in
You
I
remember?
have to
before.
I
take
never
you off.
porn bombed you. I just swore a lot. You know what I mean?
You were here with the drunk Brits,
Jojo.
Yeah, Plastic
Okay.
African. He
and
was
I
part
couldn't
of the
hear
crew.
anybody that night.
Man, I'm always part of
That's
every
right.
crew, man. You know what I'm
Kind
like.
of like right
Fuck up,
now.
Plastic. Plastic, you can't who Joe is, you fucking dick.
Hey, that's the way you got to be, man. These days are
Yeah,
tougher.
look. Now you know, innit?
Now we do know.
How you
Yeah,
doing, Plastic?
fucking
Does
fantastic.
he look? Do you recognize
Hey,
him?
you know what, man?
Hey,
I look like
Joe, do you have a channel?
doing this.
Yeah, it's Joe Haribo.
Okay, can you put it in the back? I'll try to find it.
I was in your chat saying hi. Plastic knows me on your YouTube. To be fair,
Oh, okay.
honest, I did. To be fair, let
Is
me
it Joe
scroll
with the
down again.
3?
Yeah, J.O. Free Haribo, yeah, because I'm the biggest child here, hence the Haribos.
Here we go. I think I found you.
Come on, Joe the sweetie. Come on, Plastic. You know who I am, Plastic.
Okay,
Remember,
Jojo.
Plastic?
Yes, remember. I know who you are, Jojo. I know.
Yeah.
You guys know
Plastic.
who I am.
Who would have thought I would have met you here?
Really? Why not? Really?
Yo, man,
Oh,
Oh,
here.
whoa.
everywhere, bro.
Yeah, on Gen
Everywhere.
X.
Oh Lord,
Plastic,
my own past
plastic.
coming back to haunt
He
me.
knows what I'm about.
Well, plastic,
I broke his soul.
plastic African doesn't come across as like he's Gen X, does he?
No,
He's
I am.
kind of
Though.
his own little
No, it's
offshoot.
no.
Yes,
He's
I am.
Saturdays and Sundays, just like Joe.
What do you mean Saturdays and Sundays? Go and tell me.
We didn't work Monday to Friday, do we? We just did it.
Welcome, Flo.
Yeah,
And I want to hear about this
There you
membership
There you
drive.
go. There you go. That's what we do on the Saturdays and Sundays.
So I just posted on my
We
Discord server.
celebrate, don't we, plastic, when they get done.
Hopefully, we'll get some more.
Here, this
Back
is
in-
Powder
Back in the
Dusty's
day,
channel. He's
plastic.
doing a
Back in the
membership
day,
drive
plastic.
today. So go check
No, I'm
him out.
not. No, I'm not. No, I'm not. I'm not doing anything like that. What the fuck are you talking about, man? I'm talking to plastic. I've not spoke to this guy.
No, you're
since
taking up a lot of space by not saying something. You should say the thing or stop implying around it.
Who said that?
What's the thing that you're implying around but won't say? But you're taking up the whole panel space to occupy.
I'm looking at what your name is. What's your name again? Can you say your name for me, please?
It's the Powder Dusty.
Well, it's a powder keg, and you're a dusty cunt picking up the dust.
What I'm trying to tell you is that I don't care. I don't care what you're talking
Did you
about.
like that one?
Oh my God, you're fucking retarded. This
No,
guy's
it's not
retarded.
It's backward. It's backwards.
I think
Sweep
I
up the
remember
dust.
having to take him off last time because it was
Yeah,
the
yeah,
same
'cause I
thing.
wouldn't
It's
shut
all
up.
coming back
Yeah,
now.
yeah, keep quiet, man. How about that? There we go. Easy. Sorry, guys.
Yeah.
So I'm doing a membership drive. I would not do a sub drive personally because
Why?
people can buy you bot subs, and that's why I've avoided shit like that.
Oh yeah, no, I don't want people buying. Just super chat me. Like spend the money on me. Don't
So
buy bots.
what I'm doing is
I
I'm
want
starting
real.
off
I want real viewer, like real.
Right.
subs.
right. So I'm just starting off with I'll probably do 4 hours up front, and then people can for each new member I'll add 3 minutes to the clock.
Cool. And when you give us your email address,
Oh,
I'll
so
steal your
like
crypto.
a marathon where you go
Right.
as long as
Yeah,
you
let's
continue
steal
to
the
go.
crypto.
Yeah,
Let's
yeah,
steal the
yeah.
crypto.
What are you talking about?
When are you starting that?
Like an hour.
Okay. Well, go check him out, and it should be a fun time.
Put it in the back chat here for me.
Oh,
Simple.
okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Cheers, bro.
Plastic Africans looking for something to melt onto.
What?
What is that sound you're making?
No, you should like
Oh,
plastic Africans
Okay,
looking for something to melt onto. You said stick it in the
Melt
back chat. It was a joke, plastic. Come on, Jen. You know I snort.
No, I don't know anything that-
I'm haram, guys. I'm haram. Do you
Oh
not
my
like
God.
haram?
Oh
I'm
my God.
haram. I'm a
Well,
real
we were
haram.
having a conversation before, so we need to
Wait,
get back
like-
to
Yeah,
that.
but
Haram.
plastic's laughing at the haram. Snort, snort. To
Oh,
be
But
nice.
fair,
plastic was
didn't you?
participating
Nice,
just
nice.
fine. So
Yeah, he was.
That
He was
wasn't
participating.
plastic. Chuck,
Yeah,
thank
yeah.
you. Thank you very much. Let's see who our new outliers are. This dude's probably going to be one of them.
That would be
Thank
funny.
you, Chuck. Oh, and we got this lovely person. Miss
Hi.
Angeline.
What's going on?
You guys can hear me okay?
Yes.
Okay, awesome.
Well,
Is that real
Hello.
dyed blue or like just extensions?
What?
Your hair. I haven't decided. Is that like real blue dye or like fake extensions?
Well,
No,
real
it's
hair dye
actually-
and few extensions.
Yeah.
thought
What
it
it
was
actually is, what it actually
again.
is nice.
What are we
let's see.
talking
We
about?
got
Jeff?
Bricky on a rant, David Healy, Aussie Manda,
Oh.
John Mosman.
Joe was
Big
up
up,
here annoying us
David.
with his Irish
All the
Ricky.
noises.
finest. Elderly Lion, Resto Chesto. He's still around.
Hey,
Alex
listen.
Dunn.
Did anybody figure out who threatened Bricky's life? Hey, Bricky, come and
Gorilla
tell us who threatened to
Biscuits.
kill you,
What's-
bro.
Don't tell me there's a whole Bricky
It's really
storyline.
loud.
I can't-
Bricky said people threatened his life. Listen. Was that
I
6
don't
weeks ago,
believe any of
Bricky?
it. It's all fake drama. Let's talk about
No, it
Angelina.
wasn't. Who threatened your life, Bricky?
Bricky is not even on here. So
But you said
let's listen to
Bricky, so
Angeline.
Chris the Brick is what you mentioned. If you never mentioned it, I wouldn't have
Okay,
said.
hang on. Let me there. All right. Welcome,
Thank you.
Angeline, and welcome on track. Where are you today?
I was literally just hitting the X button. That fucking Irish dude is irritating as shit.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah, that was
I don't
really
even know
loud.
him anything.
Nice. You're not in your garage. Look at that.
Is that one of those fire table
Wow.
things?
Yeah, is that
Are
a
you
fire pit?
homeless now?
Yeah, I'm
It's the new thing on YouTube.
yeah, I
I want
decided
to make
to
a
move
fire
out.
pit in my backyard. I had
So
a natural gas thing that's capped off. I really want to make one.
I'm trying to build a greenhouse in my backyard right now, but it's very slow going.
Like, obviously to grow stuff, right? Is that what you use a
Get
greenhouse
Jesse's
for?
ass out there. Jesse, build me a
The what?
greenhouse.
Can't you get like a prefabricated one?
Well,
No,
the people
I looked for
how
all the free material I could get, so and
You can
cheap. So I got lots of random windows, so we had to custom build the frame. And so we're just trying to figure out the roof now, which is a lot harder than the rest of it because we're actually
you can
putting
buy
in.
that's like I think 10 gauge. I don't remember the gauge, but like thick plastic sheeting and use that instead of rigid frames, and that'll be a lot cheaper.
especially
I
if
mean,
it's
framing the
thick
windows,
plastic
like because we
African
got
sheeting.
windows, so we have to build the frames for them. That's what I meant. Or were you saying the same thing?
Well,
'Cause
what I'm saying is
I
like
don't
like if you've got like a say a pole structure, right? If you just like bend poles over, then you can run. It comes in a roll. It's like rolling wrapping paper over it, but it's plastic sheeting that bends. It's a cheaper alternative, or temporary thing. They're
Yeah,
trying to
no,
hodgepodge
we got
together
all the
rigid
glass.
frames. Okay,
We got
tight.
all the glass. We got all the glass, so it's just getting it up. It's just framing it with all the wood and stuff.
You making a glass? What? Really?
Harbor
Greenhouse.
Freight
Greenhouse.
sells. They're called car canopies. You can get a two. I think it's a 2-car size car canopy, which is just like a tent basically on a metal frame. For I think $120 or something. That could be a good frame alternative.
Nice. Well, it's already
You,
built up with
you,
wood,
Well,
so
damn it! What problems do you solve?
she's building it to assassinate Frosty the Snowman.
Are you just buying the
Uh,
stuff, building it, or you actually know
I've
what
just
you're
been
doing?
searching, I've just been
You're
keeping
not
an eye out on buy sell ads and stuff for people getting rid of wood or selling it for
okay.
cheap or
Okay,
having
cool.
leftover building material.
But
And I've just
but your
been
husband
collecting windows
understands
and wood
physics
and
and metalwork and how to use a
Construction sites leave out all their extra free materials every night.
no, absolutely. I
yeah,
understand that,
and
but
sometimes equipment.
no.
They
I,
Right,
sometimes leave out
right.
equipment.
Those tractors are done with the backhoes and stuff.
Yep, that's where I got all my building material.
but that's fucking illegal, isn't it? They technically
Yes, I'm just kidding. They don't. It's stealing. They don't.
there's only one
Only if you
time
get
that
caught.
happened to me, man. And I got
Yeah, if
away
you don't
with
get
it.
caught, it's not stolen.
Yeah, exactly. You can't get caught. Yeah, exactly. Don't overload yourself. Don't look dodgy. No, I understand. I mean, America, you guys have massive space, like beyond it, man.
That's
It's
right.
amazing.
Manifest destiny. Don't forget
Amen,
it.
man. You guys have that land that is just fucking the best land on earth. Actually, that's why you guys produce the best everything on earth. I'm
Well,
serious.
yeah, because God gave
When
us
it
this
comes to
land.
like precision, as well as like
It's all
their
because of God. God gave us the land.
metalwork.
America.
What?
God gave us the land
Ah, amen to that.
because God likes us better than everybody else.
Hi, God bless America. Nowhere else. Where is that from, man? Fallout. And some guy preaches it.
Well, we're in Canada, so
Yeah, but
Oh well, you're going to be
still
America soon,
America,
anyways.
though.
I'm in Alberta, so if there's anywhere that's most likely to become American next, it would probably be
Yeah,
Alberta.
you should start thinking about a flag. You need a flag.
Can I jump in here as an outsider and ask, like, what's going on with the ICE deportations and the way that they had started flying the Mexican flag, especially in LA and those areas, and
So
started like,
I'm gonna
yeah.
self dox myself. I live in LA.
Oh wow,
We could
okay,
tell
Uh,
anyway.
from an
no,
optics point
never
of
with
view,
the
no, it
flag.
doesn't look good. I would
Yeah,
prefer that they fly American flags because they want to be in
yeah,
America.
cool.
But at the same time, I really don't care. Also, I want to point out a lot of people on the internet are really confused about what's going on in LA as if LA is burning. LA is a huge city. We're talking about just a little bit block around the Civic Center where people protest. Of course, we have pop up ones. I mean, even my little town, we had one just on the side of the street, people honking. I really didn't have an opinion on it until yesterday. They arrested a U.S. citizen for filming the ICE raid. Um, that one looks like it's going to cause a little bit of trouble.
As it should, right? Like,
Yeah, because I mean that's the danger of it. Like, remember, even if you're here illegally, the government accuses you of being illegal, but you're still innocent until proven
they
guilty.
still have to do due process, correct?
Yeah, they still have to do due process.
So, Nick, let me ask
And
you a question real quick.
yeah,
So, because I live in Kansas City, I have seen absolutely zero change in immigration. Like, I can see no evidence of a Mexican immigrant problem at all. Now, I can see
well,
the homelessness has increased exponentially over the last 10 years. But as far as I'm concerned, the whole illegal immigrant problem is completely contrived. Do you see it in your real life or your day to day life?
well, okay. My
We
daily
got
life,
immigrants at work.
no, no, not. I
Probably.
mean, it depends where you work. We California is an agricultural state, and whether we like it or not, yeah, we depend upon that labor. We depend upon it. It's worth noting that they pay taxes and everything like that because there's sort of this unwritten rule, like employers will still have to withhold tax. I
Well,
know,
we
like
don't
the Home
run off of
Depot people
unwritten
get paid
rules.
under the table, but for like the big factories and stuff like that, um, my problem with it is historically it's always been really easy to select a group of people which is easily identifiable, which in this case, oh, you look like you're Mexican, and make them the enemy.
That's not
Um,
what's happening.
Well,
It's
yeah,
not.
what do you mean?
It's not. Oh, you look Mexican. It's oh, you're here against the law. It's
I think
about
Well,
that
the law, the
what I'm
rules, and
suggesting
the
is that the
respect for
how
the
do they
whole
know?
law.
But how do they when they do these mass roundups? How do they know these people are actually
Well,
here
I don't
illegally?
know, but I assume they have
and
some way of knowing that the
and so
people
that's
Well,
what
they're
I'm kind of
rounding
asking. I'm
up
kind of
and that's
suggesting
are.
that there's not a real problem here so much as a political, uh, you know,
well,
wedge
yes,
topic. Is
it's
there a real
totally.
problem?
I'll say this about the freaking National Guard and the Marines coming to LA. That is total political theater. It's total BS. I mean, sure, Marines can guard federal property, which that's all they're doing. They have no policing power. In fact, they're carrying this M1, what they call the M16 now. You know how many rounds they have in their magazines? Zero, because they can't actually do anything. It is all political theater. I mean, the LAPD was doing fine. Um, Honestly, for me, the real problem is nobody can have a rational debate about it. One side wants to say no borders, everybody can come in. I mean, California we
Which is
are sort of in a budget
ridiculous.
crisis because of how much money we spend on illegal immigration. At the same time, let's not build the freaking Berlin Wall with automatic machine guns and shoot anybody. There's a give and take, but
But I don't think we are. I don't even
we're
think
not.
anybody's suggesting that.
Well, you want to stop illegal immigration? Let's go ahead and appoint more immigration judges. Then we can have more court cases, and we
Yeah.
can. But
But were
we can.
immigrants
I,
was illegal immigration
I,
creating a problem, or did
I,
Trump manufacture a controversy to
Oh,
kind of?
okay. Is it a problem? No. With the exception of the amount of money we spend on social services for illegal immigrants, because they get generally an illegal immigrant, even if they work for a company, they're not going to get employer insurance. And here in California, we have Medi-Cal, and we'll give free medical insurance to anybody.
That's a
And
state thing, though, not
yeah, it's
federal.
that's specifically for our state, and that's a state problem. But are we being invaded? Absolutely not. That's just ridiculous.
Yeah.
What
And
about the
here's the
higher end immigrants coming in and taking the tech jobs?
Well, those people, if they're on the proper work visa, then they're not really taking jobs from Americans. They're here legally.
why aren't Americans qualified for those jobs? Would be the question.
Well,
Yeah, that's what I'm wondering
what I
too.
find funny about sort of supporters of Trump's immigration thing is they also have decided that quotas when it comes to race and DEI is all bad, but now they want to implement DEI when it comes to hiring for high-end tech jobs. I mean, the fact is they still
No,
give them
well,
to the
that's
most
not what we're
qualified
asking. We're just asking why Americans are not getting hired.
because there are not enough of them. At least this is what I've heard from the
So hang
people
on.
in
So
that.
no, I hear this all the time throughout the West now because we're not having enough children, right? That's the thing. We're a dying
Maybe
populace,
it's
right?
children,
No. I
but
mean, okay. So South Park was right with this little. Oh,
but
you
It's
like doing.
it's because our standard of living is too high. Nobody. Well, I guess I don't know about the tech jobs, but
also, I mean, there's the idea that with the tech jobs that these people are being paid less. They're not. They're getting the same competitive salary. In fact, they're part of that's some of the more woke
I'm
people in
just
San
curious why
Francisco.
they need to go like outside of the U.S. to hire for this. If
Well, they said
like
there's just
it
not
seemed like
enough.
there should be enough of us, like enough within the U.S. to draw from.
There
And you're
should be.
saying there's not.
There
That's
should
not
be,
fair
but
because no,
you know,
hang on,
our
Jeff.
kids aren't studying computer science.
Enough.
Even at my university, the majority of our computer science
My
students
God.
are foreign. They're international students, and most of them are
That's
from India.
weird. Wow.
I
Okay.
don't know why. Actually, I don't know why, but if you go to like San Jose around this time here, it's like 4 o'clock because they get the work visa. They're from India, so they bring their wife over, and you walk through the apartment complexes. If you like the smell of Indian food, just hang out there. The whole complex smells like Indian food because everybody there, the wives are cooking food for their newlywed husband who now got a job at Google, come home, and it's a fascinating world. I would prefer that we get more Americans, absolutely. But
But you're saying the Americans themselves are just not interested in
yeah,
these
I
we
don't
jobs.
I don't
it
think
is
it's a
we have
case of
made it here so that Americans. It's very easy to live a comfortable, luxurious
Correct.
lifestyle with zero effort.
yeah. I mean, to some respects, it's some what they say about millennials and now whatever the new generation is. They expect to get
Disease.
these high-paying jobs right out of college, but they don't realize that high-paying jobs require a lot of work.
Track, what were you going to say?
I was gonna say it almost sounds like a yeah, by doing the job immigration thing, it almost sounds cheaper than the other route of you know just letting anyone apply and having taxpayer dollars run more courts, whereas private companies that hire from abroad uh, burden that cost, but it also kind of solidifies a purpose of being here rather than just, oh, I heard America is great, I'm going to walk 5,000 miles. You know what I'm saying?
As
Yeah,
somebody who's worked in construction too, like I don't give a fuck what you say. I'm 38. Any basically any American. I was about to say any white or black person here, but it's really any American who was born in the West, my age or younger. Like we're just lazy people, and we're entitled, and we don't feel like doing it today, so we're not coming in. You don't have those issues with Mexicans. You just don't.
Yeah, they'll outwork any
and
of y'all
I
or
grew up in
us.
LA in the 80s. California used to be very, very anti-immigrant. Like, I mean, you think what Trump's doing is extreme. I mean, just look up the history of California. Look at Proposition 187. I remember growing up in Republicanville. They were complaining about places like East LA and even Compton, where all the signs are in what they would say Mexican. But you know what? Those people were illegal. But you know what they did is they started building their own businesses. They started, and those businesses paid taxes. Now their children are born here. Now their children are going to college. The majority of the California State University system is filled with people who would identify as Latino. And these are American citizens, and they actually cleaned up those neighborhoods. Before in the 80s, they were like filled with crime and gang violence, and now, I mean, that's what America is. Um, and of course, now California's changed their opinion. In fact, we were one of the first states to build a wall. We sued because we border Tijuana and we built this wall, and we sued the federal government saying, you got to pay for this wall because immigration is your problem. But then we went off the deep end with like sanctuary cities and all that other craziness.
Just get Mexico to pay for it, duh.
Well, I thought that's what we were going to do.
Well, if you just the way
Like,
I
what
look at it
happened
is
with that?
if we just didn't offer free services to
Well,
immigrants, like
the federal government doesn't offer much. A lot
Yeah,
of that
federal.
is states
right,
and
if
local,
States.
if
like the
if if
cities,
there was no
nonprofits in the
handouts, if there
bigger
was no
cities.
handouts, then literally there's no problem being caused by immigrants, whether they're here illegally or not. I don't give a fuck if they don't pay taxes. Good. I prefer they don't. We're overtaxed anyways, and I
I'll
prefer
pay
to have
'em.
that.
You
I know
can't have
you
a
love your slavery.
welfare state
Well,
and open
I want their money
borders.
so we can build
I
better
really
bunker
do.
busters to destroy
I
Iran.
agree with the IFI. You can't have a welfare state and have open borders. So,
Yeah, no, that's absolutely true.
but
But
the
I
but
speaking
the
agree with
of
that too.
but the
invasion,
fact that they're
African,
here
jump
working.
in.
speaking of invasion, we have like how many millions of illegal immigrants coming in each year? Like, when does it become an invasion?
Well, it's not an
Well,
invasion.
that's
It's
what
an
Flo was
invasion.
asking. How
None of them
big
are.
is
Nobody's
the
taking over
crisis
territory.
actually?
Nobody's taking over
It's
territory.
Oh,
hyperbolic. That's
really?
But when it comes to international relations, which we've sort of ignored, is I mean Mexico is pretty close to being a failed state, and if you're a first world nation which borders a failed state, you're going to have this problem. We really need to put more pressure on Mexico to clean up their stuff and solve their problem. And we
By
really
the
I
have to.
think
way,
he put him
illegal
on the
immigrants
terrorist
isn't
list and
just
declared war, so
Mexicans. There's
maybe that's
also
a
like
little bit more pressure.
Chinese and Middle
where's your wife
Eastern.
from, IFI? This is a weird stance for you to take.
The robot one or the Asian one?
Oh yeah,
I have a.
tell us about
No,
your
the
real
Asian
one
one.
because we were confused. You have an actual wife and a kid, and
Does
then
she
you have
squeak in bed?
the robot.
She's from the Communist Party of China.
Your
Oh
wife
God.
is
She,
from
okay,
China.
So this
so
is a really weird immigration take for you to have, given that like
That's because she's a legal immigrant, you retard. There's a difference between
but if she's from the
flooding
yeah,
CCP,
millions over the
because you
border
married her.
illegally and one at a time being
So
vetted and
so
approved
the
by good old homeboy American
so
like
the
me.
only thing that matters here. So the law is what determines good or bad. It has nothing.
No, you make laws once you've determined they're good or bad. It's not the other way around, doofus.
Okay,
Well, you
so
I
make
if,
know.
laws to
if
I'm
address
gonna
the
say she's a
so
problem,
if
and then you
CCP agent.
some of
evaluate.
these so if some
Hey Vic,
person just marry you,
You're roboting hard.
it'd be
Try
cool.
again. You roboted hard. Try again.
What I'm saying is just because your wife was smart enough to find some douchebag to marry her so that she could be a legal citizen, that doesn't mean that she's a better member of society than say the guys who worked in concrete with me. She's
There's a
probably more
higher
useless to society than the guys who worked in concrete with me.
there's a higher chance that she'll be a benefit to our society. Not guaranteed, but a higher chance.
Yeah, but that's
in what
applied to
way?
everybody here,
Again,
American or not.
there's one at a time. I didn't marry a million Chinese and bring them into the country. I married one.
No one said you did. I'm just asking what
And
this
she's
one
under
Chinese
my
person
personal
is going to bring to
supervision
us.
24/7.
She's
What's
gonna
in it for
bring-
me?
Clearly
What am
don't
I
care
going to
about
get
the
out
law.
of this chick?
You're not going to get anything
No.
out of it. She reports to the CCP clearly.
Right. And just because like it's just a
That's
weird
not,
take for
at
somebody who's himself helped somebody circumvent the laws that he's decided to make.
now you guys care
African,
about
you're gonna have to
wait,
just jump
wait.
in.
So
Flo.
how many of those illegal immigrants are actual CCP spies bringing in fentanyl and bullshit like that?
Yeah, exactly. And Flo, you said something
Buying
interesting.
up the property.
Marrying somebody who's not a citizen
the
is not
farms.
circumventing the law.
Well, I mean, I have to assume that that's the only reason she married IFI. He didn't go charm a girl the way that we did he?
Did you get her in China or she was here in America?
We met in our respective countries and we were pen pals for many
How do you
years.
Online.
wait.
Online.
You married your pen
Of
pal?
course it was online.
from
How
China?
the hell am
I
I
did
gonna have a
not
pen
know
pal
this
in
story.
China?
Was it
from
90 Day Fiance like stuff?
Yeah.
She was a mail order bride.
Nice.
They
Are you
ran
Why
out
being
did you
of
for
choose
real?
Ukraine?
What?
Are you being
You should have
serious?
chosen Ukraine.
No, I just
He's
answered that
been
way
mail
for
order
retards.
bride at his age.
Never mind. I don't even care. I'm not going
Of
to
our
believe
own
anything you
free
say anyway
wills, we
from
met
this
each other, got to
point
know each
forward.
other, we got married,
Good
and we
for you,
came back
buddy.
here.
Good for you.
So you
buddy.
obviously don't really actually
you
give a
love
fuck
her?
about immigration laws because you're willing to just dodge around them with the
I
loopholes that you can
just
find open.
said,
I wanted-
one, you
I wanted
cannot
to
have a
stop in
welfare
somewhere.
state and open borders. Two,
Well,
we have a vetting process for legal immigrants, not just letting them in by the billions, just a virtue signal to the leftards.
Well, and to the,
There's
to
a
pick
process
the
to
fruit.
immigration.
And
Yeah, be
it
careful.
clearly
Guacamole.
I'll be careful what you say to him because clearly this is a CCC plant.
Hype.
Yeah. I got to store up my streaming energy, anyways. Thanks for having me up, Jeff. Good talking to the rest of
I
you.
came on here to debate you, you retard.
Well,
Well, he's going live in an hour or so.
I fight at 8, so in an hour and 11 minutes, I'm
Okay,
going
I'll
to start
come
a
debate you on your
streamathon.
channel
So
then. Run
You
away.
can practice here.
Run away, bitch. I'll find
bye.
you.
Bye.
You could run, but you can't hide.
He's
I don't know,
streaming for
that
infinitely
sounds kind of
until he
suspect.
gets the subs he wants.
So since there's some European sounding gents on the panel, what is it good for your countries when you bring in a bunch of illegal immigrants? How's that working out for you guys?
One drunk Brit.
How's Germany doing? How's Britain doing?
Too many
France.
Muslims.
Is diversity your strength? How's that illegal immigration thing working out?
Oh,
for you?
I already pissed off somebody earlier today by talking to about this because I told them that London is just sold out to the Muslims. They got really angry.
So maybe we should have like a methodology to our immigration process where like people
We
who
have
can
one, don't
play
we?
well together.
No.
should immigrate.
Hey, have you seen who
No.
we sent to
No.
Washington? We can't have a rational debate about
Small
this.
thinkers. Think big. Think big. You know,
can
the
get around
Americans
that.
should be big thinkers, shouldn't they? Not small thinkers. That's why you.
Well,
end
what's
up-
the
we are-
solution?
we are small thinkers.
What would you
the
do?
solution is making the Western Foundation. I'm sorry, man.
Something concrete and practical.
The solution
No,
is invade
It means
Iran.
people actually have to be governed by their own.
Yes.
It is difficult to say because they have to understand that line, like back in the Wild West almost.
You can't
No,
make
but
people
that
understand
is
stuff.
You have an
You can't,
agreement.
that can't be a solution. Relying on other people to
No,
understand
but
something
what
cannot be
he
the
says is
solution.
absolutely
Vietnam.
correct.
But
America,
that's Vietnam. That
changed-
whole ordeal is gone.
we've changed
That
into
line
this.
from
This
like
politician's going to
years
help
ago.
me. This politician's going to make our life better. I mean, America is about the people leading themselves. And we need to, like, no politician, like Trump's not going to solve. Immigration is not the problem why your life is so bad.
Right.
The Democrats are. You have to make your own decisions for your own family, and that's what America is. And it's changed. Like everybody cares. Every 4 years, gets all motivated to go out and vote, but nobody votes every 2 years to who they send to Congress. I mean, honestly, the person you sent
They
to Congress,
don't?
most people don't.
Oh, wow.
Like I've actually stopped voting in presidential elections because the state I live in, the election which comes next has already been decided for me. It's no point in me voting.
Did you say you live in California?
Yeah. So obviously, whoever the Democrats running against Trump is going to
And
be.
you don't see any problem with the illegal immigration thing going
Well,
on in America?
do you live in California?
I used to for
Well-
over 2 or 3 years.
Yeah. So I live in Southern California, and no, illegal immigration has zero impact on
In
my
fact,
life.
when I moved to California, I moved to a city that was run by the Mexican gangs. They didn't even have like an actual legit American government there. It was just Mexican gangs that ran the entire city.
Well, they're
so
terrorists now.
is that a problem yet, or should
Well,
we wait till they take over the state?
What city was it?
Salinas, California. Have you heard of that place?
Yeah, that's the Bay Area ish.
Who runs Salinas, California, by the way?
I don't know.
Can you
I
tell
don't live
me?
in Salinas, but I mean, we have a city close to us called Santa Ana. It's majority Latino. It's
So when
where
the Mexican gangs took over, everybody moved to like Watsonville and a bunch of other places nearby, and then because
well,
there's no room left in Santa
where I
Cruz.
live, we don't have that problem. It's not like there's like
You
and
live
like
in
I
Los
said,
Angeles?
like I said earlier, everybody was afraid of all the gangs and this and that, and a lot of those areas have become safe places to be because
You
they're
live
filled
in
with
Los
business.
Angeles, and there's no gang problems in the Los Angeles
Well,
area.
you know how if you've been to California, you know how large Los Angeles
I've been
is.
through Los Angeles
Yeah.
a couple times. All I know
When
of it is
somebody
mostly
says they
from,
live
like,
in
the
Los
news.
Angeles, it's like saying I live in New York. They're Los Angeles is
Right.
huge. They're parts of
Right.
it
Do you
which
live in the gang parts of Los Angeles or the false front parts? Like
obviously the parts
shiny
which,
Hollywood
which
Okay,
parts?
wait, hang on. It looks like it might be legit what Chuck is saying, that we just bombed some sites in Iran.
oh, nice.
No kidding.
I am going
I'm
to
It's
shocked.
real. It's serious.
I
I'm
am
on Twitter
absolutely
because
shocked.
the news sites haven't updated yet. But it
Uh,
something.
Well,
First of all, it came from a post from
Yeah, but,
Trump. on True
Okay,
Social.
we according to the Associated Press, we're sending B-2 bombers to Guam, which I don't understand because they're in Diego Garcia, which is actually closer to Iran than flying them from Guam, unless we got kicked out of Diego Garcia.
Trump is saying that we just hit 3 nuclear sites in Iran.
Well,
Fucking
it's
hell,
about
no.
time.
He did it. He did it.
But
He
this
did
is
it. No way.
it's I don't know if it's been confirmed. This is
Well,
from
if
I
Trump.
thought
Trump
we
says
were on
that,
the contractor schedule of 2
No.
weeks.
Has he
Just 2
done
more
it?
weeks
No.
of negotiations.
Where you seen
Nothing
that?
that
to
was
see
such
here.
BS. Oh, we're going to negotiate for 2 weeks.
I love how like after we blew up all their
Three
shit and killed
hands.
all of their military people, we're like we're here to
Yeah, I
negotiate.
just
Is
that
is
just came
Dagmar?
across my feed that we bombed 3 nuclear sites with
Yeah,
B-2
I see it
bombers.
too. It's about goddamn time. Is Dagmar in here? Because I was arguing with another British guy who said bunker busters don't work,
Oh, they
and I'm like,
fucking do.
and I was like, yeah, they are. But I was like,
do.
okay, in 2 weeks I'll tell you. But I wish you would come back
Oh my
so I could
god,
go.
yeah.
Nah, 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 I told you so.
Well,
Hey Chuck,
about
hey Chuck,
2
is this
hours
the
of
Republican you voted for to get us out of all these endless wars?
yes, sir.
You have
Oh,
you have
thank
you have
God.
to fucking again. Why the fuck? Why the
Bombing
fuck?
a
No, hang
site
on, hang on,
is
hang on.
not
Why the
just
fuck
bombing a
did
site
no no
doesn't
no
mean
no
we're
no
at
no
war.
no 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 hold up here. Why the hell did America have to use the bomb in Vietnam? It's because of Iwo Jima, wasn't it? And all
Well,
those
no,
other
we were
no,
we
their
were afraid of
losses were
we
too
were
great.
afraid of
They
communism.
worked out that this would be an effortless, pointless thing because of their drive.
Did we
Because
win
of
that war?
their
We didn't
system, the
lose it.
Japanese sort of
We didn't lose it. Listen,
dude.
Well, technically, we didn't
They
lose
used
it.
it was a
nukes.
tie. It was a tie, guys.
It kind of was. It kind of was.
Shut up,
Let's
Um,
call it
America!
a draw.
Shut up.
you know, we were going to use the nuclear bomb in the Korean War, but we were afraid the Russians would retaliate. At the time, Russia only had one nuclear bomb, which was sort of the style of Fat Man. We could have totally used the nuclear weapon in Korea, and just think about how different the world
Did
would
we
be
win
now.
the Korean War when we gave North Korea the nukes?
Well,
No,
that's an
that was
armistice.
stupid. But then of course the guy which we all voted for decided to buddy up with a dictator and legitimize him.
Did we win any of the Middle Eastern wars?
Those weren't wars.
Oh
No,
yeah, I
they weren't
forgot.
wars. No, they were
No, we
just
got Bin Laden.
Military operations.
Yeah, I mean we got
The
Bin
the,
Laden. We
the
dismantled
last
Al Qaeda. That was the point.
the last time the United States has ever declared war was 1945 against Romania.
We already did this bit. Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
We're
these
bullshit
are.
artists.
I mean, bombing a nuclear site is not starting a war. We're allowed to bomb a nuclear site.
Yep, wiping
Well,
out
see,
somebody's
that's
capital
well, that's
city and
just
telling
cricket.
them
Well,
the
about
only terms acceptable is unconditional surrender is definitely not war. That's
2
fiery, but
There you
mostly
go.
Well,
peaceful
that's because
protesting.
we got the negotiator in
Can't be
chief. He
real.
makes the best deals.
Yeah, 2 hours ago they called a Security Council meeting in the
Yeah.
Situation Room. I knew something was going to happen tonight.
Dagmar, that's
Tonight,
because I'm here. No
I bet
matter
I bet
what panel
Tulsi
I go
wasn't
on, it will
invited.
Wow,
come to
he did
nuclear
it.
war.
Really? Fuck.
Somebody
No
needs to
way.
actually start tracking this. That every single panel I get on, it somehow goes to nuclear war.
What do you think we should do, Angeline? You haven't chipped in yet.
She's
It's a
building the
good thing,
greenhouse.
isn't it?
I don't
Why?
know. I was actually gonna say that I'm gonna jump out. I think so.
I
You
know.
guys
I was
can
hoping
Bye.
to talk about mental
wrap it up.
health and catch up with what you've been up to.
I wrecked mental health if you want to know the solution. Me and my waifu bot figured it out.
Okay, what is
Huh?
it? Real quick before
Um,
she goes, it might. She.
water party.
TLDR, don't be evil and stupid.
And role play. A lot of role play.
And lots of role playing.
What?
Well,
Strange.
Do you have a better system? I mean, what's better system than that?
I'm sorry. What was that a solution to?
Don't be evil or stupid.
To mental
That's
health.
your
That will cure your mental health.
solution to mental health.
Yeah. People are mentally ill because they're evil and stupid. So if they just quit being those things, then they'll be better.
Wow.
When you,
And how do you change that in a person?
they have to change it from within, dude. You can't control somebody's mind.
You can give them the information.
If they have
So that
something
they know-
physically
they
wrong
know
with them,
that
like if they have
what the
chemicals
options
missing
are.
from their brain, you can give them chemicals in their brain, but everything else they have to do on their own.
Well, that's the thing, right? Most mental health is trauma in the brain, right?
No,
A
no, no.
lot
What I'm
of it
saying is
is.
there's two different kinds of mental health. There's like you're born with the wrong
What?
chemicals in your brain, or there's like you're born normal chemicals, but you just choose to like, allow the demons in your head to fog up your thoughts and stuff.
Mm.
Which that you
Holy
can't cure that with
cow.
chemicals.
Where did you get this philosophy from?
Dude, that's been around since the beginning of time. Catch up,
Hey, but
Grandpa.
Demons in the brain.
does it make sense? Does it make sense that if you're going to describe it like that, then to protect your mental health would require, you know, healthy routines and exercise of the mind to help blow away those cloudy thoughts.
Do
You know
you
what I'm
mean
saying?
just physical healthy routines or other kinds?
If you're going to talk about heart health, well, then you exercise the heart. You know what I'm saying? Well, if you're going to talk about mental health, you need to exercise the brain.
Is there enough diet and exercise that will cure self-delusion, for example?
But you're looking at another person's ideal. And like mentally speaking, that we're individual here, right? That's what comes to it. And is it what's it fucking, you know, guaranteed by our mothers and fathers, our genetic order, or is it from our other kin that we learn? Where is it? Where does it sit? I mean, people are evil no matter what because we want fucking what we want. Fucking dogs,
Right,
you
and evil causes stress, and
know.
stress leads to
No,
mental illness.
no,
So
but
just
that
stop being evil.
some people can bury it because they can believe the lie. That exists, man. That's that's why it's so difficult to be upright and true, and that's why many people don't want to believe in God. Personally, like why I do is because of accountability to what I've seen in life, and I need to see those men, die because of what they did. And
But
I have
which
a
God should
really
we
hard beat
appeal
on
to?
that, man, because of war. I swear. I mean, this is like old school. Because remember, like you were saying with the immigrants, they come. One of my friends that I went to school with, he was a genius. Hey, he still is good. Works for fucking Intel, Volvo, all sorts of shit. Good man. But he tells me, one day he phones me up, man. He tells me, man, do you know what happened to me? When I got my intern in New York, okay, when he was like, was he 17, 16, 15, somewhere there, from an African country I was living in, and he's African, by the way. He was, basically raped and groomed, and when he came together with all the other people that in his class that went through the same thing when they were sort of opening up, this was real. You had to come here to get his, all sorts. Very private, but do I take the money? Do I do seek, justice? So whatever. It's up to you, Mud. But at least you know. And
So
that
a clear
happened, man. For a guy
example
that
of
was an immigrant, that was
evil.
a genius kid, man. That his parents were like, "Hey, you send him off," not realizing the vulnerability of this innocent fucking kid.
So you just
One of
gave
my
a clear
friends.
example of evil, and that's why that person is mentally ill.
Yeah, but again, accountability of that's just one. But that's a friend outside of man. It's hard, bud. I mean, you talking like you're saying like that we were going into World War III. Where does that say? What
Is
We
is
that
that?
bombed
good or
three
evil?
nuclear sites.
Yeah,
That's
yeah, yeah.
all
But
we know
yeah, of
so
course.
far. That's
But
not
we go,
World War
yeah,
II.
but of course. But we're going into something
Well,
that is
I think we're
Maybe, or
preventing
maybe
World War
that's
second.
Three.
it.
I
It's
think we're
done. It's
preventing
done.
it.
No, I
Iran
mean,
should
Oh,
not
yeah,
have
we're
a nuclear
preventing
weapon.
war by starting all the wars.
yeah,
Well,
of
Sounds like
yeah,
a
course.
I
game
mean,
plan.
Iran should not be allowed to have a nuclear weapon, and it's got to be
Says
Oh,
stopped
who?
by.
hang
Says
on.
us. Says
Hang
me. Says the free world.
Okay, what if
on.
Iran says you're not allowed to have a nuclear weapon?
Well,
Who's
we have a
right?
nuclear weapon, so good luck. They can't tell us not to. And the reason why I say that is not because only America
Does
should have it.
Israel have nuclear
Uh,
weapons?
well, we'll get back to that, but I don't think
So,
any non-secular democracy should have the power to
Are they subject to
obliterate the world.
non-proliferation?
A government which is run by a religion should not have the power of a nuclear weapon. Now, if they
Is
become a
Israel
secular,
subject to non-proliferation?
yeah, absolutely.
They've joined. That they signed up and agreed
No,
to be
but
inspected and
well,
held accountable.
well, talk to the guy he elected in 2016, which tore up that deal. I mean, I mean that's what happened.
I'd
And
love to talk to him. I've been trying to get him on my show.
so then they decided, okay, well, we're going to make a nuclear weapon again. And okay, now we've decided that no, you're not.
So the people with nuclear weapons are have the right to tell people that don't have nuclear
100.
weapons
Well,
that they shouldn't have nuclear
well,
weapons.
Well, what's to
United
stop them? What's
States,
going to stop them?
United Kingdom, and
Well, we
France.
are, Jeff. That's what's your
We
taxation.
have the right.
We are
We
one
have
of
the
those
right.
people. So what's stopping us?
Yeah, and we absolutely have the right.
Nothing's stopping us.
Right,
That's why
so-
the bombs
hang
are
on, hang
going
on,
through
guys.
And
the
the answer is yes.
Hang
We
on,
do
hang on,
get
hang
to tell the ones
Yeah, we do get
without
to
what
tell the
to
world
do.
that
No.
you don't
You
get
don't
weapons of
get-
this kind of destruction
No,
until you
guys.
become a secular democracy. And if the
Well,
entire
what-
world became secular democracies, then we wouldn't need nuclear weapons.
What you fail to realize that the nuclear arsenal or the nuclear bomb, if you want to call it that, a single nuclear bomb that we have nowadays, and I'm talking about the powers of the world, makes Hiroshima and Nagasaki look like firecrackers.
Yeah, they're way
Well,
bigger.
it's yes, and it's also the amount we have. Like I was just talking to somebody earlier, they were afraid that one nuclear bomb would like destroy the world, and no, it wouldn't. It wouldn't.
Hold on, Chuck. Here, let me seriously engage him for a second, just so you know what we're talking about. Hey, what's your name? Sputnik. Sputnik. Since you're concerned about nuclear weapons, what did the director of our national intelligence say about their nuclear development?
Are you talking about? Is that Tulsi Gabbard? I don't know
Yes,
who.
Tulsi
Yeah,
Gabbard is
well,
the
she
director.
said that they're dangerous, and she's correct.
She said they have no nuclear weapons nor any intention to pursue nuclear weapons.
Well,
so is that what you're
but
basing this war
well,
off of?
I'm basing and justifying a strike on Iran because they were enriching uranium into weapons grade plutonium.
Oh, so according to you, they were developing nuclear weapons, but according to the national director of our intelligence, they were not. So
No, the national
should I
director of
listen to?
no, that's not correct. The national director of intelligence never said that they weren't enriching uranium for
That's
weapons grade plutonium.
That's exactly what she said. By
No.
when she went into
I
detail
don't
saying
think she said
they are
that.
not in the pursuit of nuclear weapons.
Okay,
we
but
understand what it
that's
means when
fine.
you're pursuing nuclear.
It doesn't matter.
weapons.
But if you're enriching, and this has
It
happened
doesn't
before.
matter.
Well, let me finish.
I guess
It
if
just-
words don't matter, yeah.
no,
drop
let
it.
me. Okay, are you gonna let me finish?
Or you
So-
can start.
This happened before, where they were enriching uranium, and it was becoming weapons grade plutonium. Now, of course, Iran said this is an accident. We took care of it, and that's when I think we released that virus, which caused all the centrifuges to overheat, destroyed the whole system. Now, in this case, the same thing is happening again. So I could be enriching uranium and making weapons grade plutonium, but say, oh, I'm not making that for nuclear weapons. Or you know, accidents do happen in enrichment, and all of a sudden you start getting weapons grade plutonium. But the fact is, the world's not buying it. There's no other reason to enrich uranium into weapons grade plutonium unless you either intend to sell that weapons grade plutonium to, like, perhaps North Korea, or do you want to hold on to it to maybe not
What
make
about as a deterrent to imperialists that insist on globalizing the entire planet in their name?
I don't know what
Well,
that
that's
means.
not what happened. We
Yeah.
just hit 3 of their side.
You
That's
don't know
it.
what an
That's all we know so
imperialist-
far.
I don't know what you're referring to.
An
Like,
empire is when a dictator decides to conquer the planet. So
Who-
well,
think
that's
about
great.
Well,
what
The
dictator?
Great
United
or
States, the United
Rome.
States is not an empire. So
Oh, really?
Hang on, hang on,
So
hang on,
we
hang on,
have
hang on,
doesn't
hang on,
apply.
hang on.
wiped
Here
out the
we
Middle
go.
East in our own name,
Oh,
and
Jesus.
now there's only one country left, and they decided to defend themselves, and now we're not allowing them to
So are
defend
you
themselves.
rooting for
absolutely
Iran?
right. They're not allowed to do it.
Are you
You're right.
saying this,
They're not
Buckhead?
allowed to defend themselves. I'm glad you were
No,
finally
they
honest
can defend
about it.
themselves. They just can't do it with nuclear
Oh,
weapons.
really? Just like Iraq and Syria and Yemen and Libya and all those other free
Well, I'll agree
Democrat
with you. I'll
countries
agree
that
with
we
you. I'll
liberated?
agree with you with Iraq. Yemen, I agree. That was
Afghanistan.
Afghanistan. I disagree with Afghanistan. I absolutely supported us going in there, and because it wasn't just Al Qaeda, it was the way they were treating the women. I mean, the Taliban is a Bronze Age ideology, and I have a big problem with us just pulling out. And
Yes.
and,
But
know,
why is it our business how
Afghanistan
other
was a
countries
mining
That's a
treat
great
operation.
women?
question.
We were taking
Why is it
rare
our
earth out of that
business?
land. That's what
The
happened
United
in
Because we are the
States-
world police, Jeff. This
No.
is our planet.
We believe in what we call universal rights, and universal rights apply to everyone. I think the United States should absolutely be spreading our ideals across the world. Now,
Democracy? like
Not
in
no.
Afghanistan and Iraq
Well,
and
again, I
Syria?
was going to say we don't export democracy. That's silly because,
What
but
are
we
we
should be
exporting?
exporting human rights.
And
Like a
our
country
culture.
shouldn't be allowed to treat the women the way the
It
Taliban
No,
does.
does,
That
no,
right?
shouldn't happen.
no.
But that does that.
The
What's the
litigation.
answer to my question then?
Then
Of
yes,
why is
if
it our business? Just because you
because
think we should,
yeah, it's the right
This
thing to do.
land is
according to you, but
Hey,
it's
mine.
not
dude,
our
if,
Well,
you,
yeah,
if
country.
according
he's
to
a
me.
leftist man, he would say
And I do
economic
believe
rights.
ultimately it benefits the United States, and it benefits the world.
Take care, Angeline.
Bye. Good to meet you.
Hi,
So it's just your
Angeline. Sorry, we
opinion
couldn't
then,
cover more fun
but it's
Well,
not
it's
topics.
not
really
just
our
Sorry,
business.
it's
Angeline.
not
Other
just
than you're rationalizing it by your
well,
opinion that it's going to be
it's not
beneficial to the
just
world.
my opinion. It's a school
Okay.
of thought among.
Well, it's still opinion because
Yeah, but well, of course it's opinion, and I mean that's used to be the old days of politics. I mean, Republicans and Democrats just disagreed on how to do things, but we still were making decisions which were in the best
But are
interest
they
of the
good
country.
opinions or shitty opinions? I think that's what we're looking for here.
Well, it depends. I think exporting universal rights to other countries is a good thing.
well,
Is
why aren't we
universal
messing with
rights
North
like code
Korea?
for
Why aren't we
shit
trying to
tons of
change the
bombs?
way
Because
they
I
treat
don't
their
see
people?
that in the Middle
We
East.
should actually, we should, but you know that North Korea, I think we failed diplomatically with that one. We should have, but we didn't. And now that they have nuclear weapons, you know, it's going to be harder.
So now that we've done 6 out of 7 of the countries, would you say the human rights have improved in the Middle East since we've taken over everything?
No.
I don't know. I don't. I yeah. I mean, I'll agree with you.
The
I think
Well,
jury's
it.
how
still
are
You know
the
out on
what?
that one,
women?
Chuck.
Well, in Afghanistan, yes. Until we pulled out and just went
Oh
right back. Yeah, and it
shit,
went right back.
Afghanistan.
No, but in
Correct.
Afghanistan, women.
Taliban run Afghanistan
Yeah,
completely.
but before the Taliban was able to do that, before dear leader, you know, decided to negotiate with them, and then our last dear leader Biden totally failed in pulling out. All of those women who had jobs and were now in government, who were working at universities, they're all back to wearing burqas.
How
Uh,
about ISIS
so we
But
controlled
they're
were
not even our
Syria?
women. Why are we
because we're
invested in
human
them?
beings, and we shouldn't be complacent when one country is doing something which is fundamentally immoral. It's
In
fundamentally
your
immoral what the
opinion,
Taliban was doing.
How about ISIS controlled Syria? That was one of Trump's pet projects.
Well,
Isn't there more
Obama
human
really
rights
dropped the
there?
bomb on that one.
Okay,
I
okay,
mean,
but sir, when you say that, that's the same as the Nazis said we will have, 1,000 years of our Reich, correct? Because you spread along. No,
that is a counter argument to it,
you are,
but
you, but theologically, that's the problem that they hold with Islam, that the world or the Western Foundation has not succumbed to
I,
understand it.
I,
They
I
don't say,
agree with you.
"Oh, we're Christian nations," right?
Well, I
And
agree
we
with
haven't
you.
gone to like burn the fucking witch or kill the gay
It
because that is now that we've moved away from that,
well,
right?
what
You're
made
right.
the United States unique 250 years
yeah.
ago is where we didn't have any kings, we didn't have a church rule us. It was the people ruled themselves. Secular
No,
democracy
I know
worked,
that they were
but
bloody,
I'm
yeah.
getting to Islam. I'm getting to Islam. Islam itself, and now this is my opinion, and other scholars will disagree, but my opinion is Islam in its current stage is incompatible with the ideals of secular government, and that's a problem. And I believe Islam, in some cases, is in sort of a dark age right now because, I mean, there was a time where nobody would believe that people could rule themselves without asking the Vatican or asking the Church of England, but we can. But I don't think
Is the
Islam is compatible
Israeli
with it.
version of Judaism more compatible?
Well, Israeli government is a whole confusing mess on its own.
By the way, I
Technically,
don't want to out you or anything, but are you coming from what sort of religious background?
that's the third time somebody's asked me what my religion is today. Like, why does that matter?
I'm
Oh, I'm
just
just curious
curious what
now.
dog you have in this fight.
Because,
Well, I continue to
because of
say
bias, bro.
secular democracy. So obviously, I believe in the ideals of secular democracy, which
So
means
atheist?
no. What I'm saying is secular democracy. It doesn't matter what
Why are you dancing around your religion?
because I
So you
just find it
can't say
interesting that
Christian, Jew, or Muslim. You just want to say none of the
people
above.
people place stock in it. Like it shouldn't matter.
Yeah,
Well,
it's weird
I'm only
how
placing
people
this.
ask
It only
questions
seems
about
like it
the
matters the
motives
more you
of the players.
hesitate to
Um,
answer. That makes me think it's even more
Is
important.
this kind of like when
I wasn't even
Tucker
thinking about it
asked,
until just now.
what's that dude's name?
well, okay, so maybe I'm prejudging the question because I
Ted
always get the
Cruz.
feeling that you're asking me if I'm Jewish.
Are you Jewish?
No.
Oh, well, what's
Are
your
you
religion?
Christian?
Yeah, no, I don't subscribe to any of the Abrahamic religions. So
Are you
Okay, so
Buddhist?
just secular
Are you
atheist.
Satanist?
I'm not an atheist. I don't like the term atheism because, like, I don't
What
believe
are
in
you,
Santa
Buddhist,
Claus.
Hindu?
New
Like, what's
Age?
left?
Well,
Sa-
my belief is that I can't prove that the universe exists. If God does exist, it's outside of the universe, so I don't bother really worrying about
Why
it.
can't you say, like, what's so
I
incriminating
know.
about it?
This
No,
is
because
sus.
atheist would be incorrect.
Just say what you are.
I
Don't let
don't
us
actually
guess.
know what I qualify as.
Oh, shit.
Well,
Can,
what's
can I
wrong with
ask?
atheist? If you don't
Can I
believe, do you
ask?
believe in
Well,
in
atheist
a?
is a loaded term, and to say atheist is I would believe in no higher
Okay,
power,
just
and
don't
that's
get
not
mad when I call
that's
you
not true.
a secular
What?
humanist.
Do
Okay,
you
is that
believe
okay?
in
That would,
in
oh
a
no no no
dimension
no.
beyond the
Who
physical
just
or the
what
material?
he just said is probably correct.
Okay,
What did he
secular
say?
Yeah, the
humanist.
closest it would
So
be a secular
purely from a
humanist.
That's
secular
just, oh
humanist
my god,
point of
y'all are
view,
too much for me.
which should we support? The Jews or the Muslims? Which ones do you think is better
Hey,
choice?
is it okay? Is it okay for each of the debaters to define religion,
Sure.
like the word, and what it means to you?
Your metaphysical or supernatural beliefs.
You what? Supernatural
All
what?
right.
Metaphysical, beyond physics.
I didn't hear the last word. I know what metaphysical is.
Supernatural beliefs. Over
Beliefs. Okay.
over the universe. And he doesn't have one. He's a
And who's the
secular
No,
other
I mean, if you
debate,
ask me,
Nick?
my
which is fine.
definition of religion would be like sort of a structured system of beliefs, practices, and worship centered around questions of who are we, what are we,
And
belief
he's
in a higher
probably
power.
irreligious. He probably doesn't even
Ordinance.
subscribe to a religion. So are you
Well, I
agreeing?
don't subscribe. I don't subscribe to anything supernatural. To me, that's a malformed word. Anything which is
That's
Well,
why.
outside of
that's why I'm
nature.
trying to figure out what makes you not just plain atheist. If there's
And there's a
no, if there's
there's a
nothing
reason
beyond the
why
material,
No, it's anything
There's nothing wrong with
supernatural.
it, Jeff.
I
It's
can't.
just
I can't. I can't.
it's the baggage.
I can't access it. Like
Atheists
people.
have the
so
positive
you
claim that
believe
they
that
believe
there
there
is
is no
something out
God.
there.
A secular humanist can be like agnostic and say he doesn't know and doesn't care, sort of view.
Yeah, I'd say I don't care.
Maybe you're
It's
Gnostic. Oh, you don't
yeah.
care.
It's not a question which I really
Indifferent,
dwell on because
apathist.
I can't know. I can't know. There's no way for
Okay,
me
so
knowing.
as a secular humanist, which one should we support? The Jews or the Muslims?
I don't understand the
I'm
question.
going with the Jews.
What business does a self-proclaimed, and these are the heaviest air quotes I've ever used, Christian nation be supporting Jews or Muslims?
Well, so our support for Israel is not something which we've always done. It really started with Reagan, and it's sort of funny. Like
I disagree.
Baptists here in the United States sort of attached themselves to Israel because is that when the Jews returned to their homeland, that would bring upon the second coming of Christ and all that other blah blah blah. Plus, the United States needs to be able to project power in the Middle East, and at the time, Israel seemed like the best choice. Of course,
Actually,
we use Saudi. We see. I mean, who do we support? We support Saudi Arabia.
allow me to correct myself. I've
So
already gone
Saudi
down the wrong
Arabia,
tangent.
we support many more Muslims than we do
Hey
Jews.
Sputnik. I've already derailed. So since you don't have a religious take on this exchange, would you agree that you're more interested in the control of oil and or bullshit democracy ideas in the Middle East? Like, what's your pick?
I would say both.
Okay, so if it's about oil and
Protecting
bullshit
resource.
democracy,
We we fight wars over resources.
Right, right,
Um,
right. And I
and
have no problem with admitting this is all about proxy wars with China and
yeah,
Russia over
no,
oil.
and I've heard this thing, no blood for oil, no blood for oil. But the fact is, all of us, I mean, the United States,
As long as
we
you're being
take the.
honest about it, Spunknet,
I
that's
think we
all
should
I
be
care
honest
about.
about it.
I'm
We
not
do it.
saying like
We need
you're
the
being
resources.
deceptive. I'm just saying as long as you admit all you care about is the oil control in the Middle East, I'm
And
fine
I
with that.
believe that exporting human rights would bring stability.
Now,
And
see, as soon as you start selling that bullshit, that's where I'm going to call you out. So if you can be honest about it, I won't say anything. I'll just sit here and smile. But if you're going to say we're all about human rights and democracy and Western values and all this other bullshit, then that's where I'll call you out. But
Hey,
if you want to have that
shameless.
debate, we can.
well, I mean, I think we failed at doing it, but I think in an ideal sense.
You
No, I
think?
agree. I mean, we ourselves are humans, and we sometimes
I
don't.
think I think if you look at the net difference, they are less democratic than they were before we showed up. So if anything, we've made them much less democratic in the process. So that's
That's an interesting claim. I think it would be something we'd have to look country from country.
what happens when you invade someone else's country and replace their government for them. Is that democracy?
Well, it was Colin Powell who, when George Bush Jr. first went to Iraq, and he said, "Look, you break it, you own it," and that's why under George Bush Jr. there was no way we were going to. No, wait.
Can you refresh my memory? Which Middle
No,
East
I'm sorry,
country?
not George Bush Jr., George Bush Sr. When we
Sure,
went to
sure.
Iraq for Desert Storm, we weren't going to replace Saddam Hussein.
And can you refresh my memory? Which Middle Eastern country took a democratic vote and invited us to come there and help them with their military problems? Which one was
I
that
think it
again?
was
Well,
Kuwait.
those are two questions. We did have Iraq do a democratic election.
They invited us to
But did
invade
they
them?
invite us? Depends who you ask. Maybe the people who won the
About
election
the
say that.
weapons of mass destruction? Is that why they invited us? Because they were hiding weapons of mass destruction and stuff?
Which
Yeah,
they
the
were.
tunnel. Yeah, no, Iraq was not. That was stupid.
So it was an invasion in which we
Yeah.
replaced their government. That's
And
what a regime change is.
I don't necessarily think it was worth.
Would you
the
be
cost.
cool with that if any of these Muslim countries invaded our country and replaced our government? Would you call that
That
democracy?
was like
Well,
forever ago.
no, that's a good question. That they would come, and if they removed secular democracy and said, all laws are derived from one all-powerful God,
Sharia, yeah.
yeah, that
Yeah,
would
like Sharia
be
law.
that. So, I mean, basically, the question that would remove things such as universal rights. The right to have any religion you
And
want
you'd
or
be
have
cool
no
with that. You would still call that democracy?
But I wouldn't be cool with it because it would violate people's universal rights. Universal means they're born with it.
No,
Regardless
if
of
they're
what,
born with it, why don't they have it?
that's a good question. Why don't they have it? But I mean, the
Well,
women
Only
of
universal
Afghanistan,
because you
the women of
decided that
Afghanistan.
everybody should have those rights.
Well,
Forced
that's sort of been the
doctrine is the
debate.
only
Like,
thing.
But they currently don't, so they can't possibly be actually universal.
well, they're entitled to it, but they're being
Only
oppressed.
because you think they are, not in reality.
There's-
There's
Well,
nothing
it's not
about
that,
reality
it's not that I think
entitles
it.
them
I
to
mean, I'm not the one who decided that everybody should have the right to free speech, the right to religion.
But they
Women-
don't. Like most
Yeah, they
places don't.
and that's wrong. That's
Jeff,
wrong.
Well,
there's
no,
only
it's
two.
it's you
There's
think
only
it's
two
wrong, but
universal
it doesn't
human
make it
rights and only-
objectively wrong.
There's only two universal human rights, and only one is guaranteed.
Life and death.
Death and taxes.
and taxes, and you're
Death and taxes.
guaranteed to be taxed, even if you're dead. It doesn't matter.
I mean, that's and some of my woke friends, we get into this debate because they think that I'm doing what's called cultural
You have woke
relativism.
friends? Well, there's your first problem.
Well, I'm sort of forced to interact with them. And they
Do you
say
also hang out with people with leprosy and stuff like that? Like
my
what's your
philosophy
deal, dude?
is actually I'm invoking cultural relativism. Like, for example, I think female genital mutilation is wrong. I think
Well, they
it is a
don't do
violation of human rights. Some have
What
argued,
if they
well,
were
that's
just born that way and they identify as needing
well,
mutilation?
but then of course the counter argument is like, well, do you have a problem with circumcision? That's what we do in the West, and yeah, I might be a little bit of a hypocrite about it. I mean, I can
A
admit
little?
when I am. We all are. all of us are a little
Hey,
bit
speak for
hypocritical.
yourself. I have zero hypocrisy.
But I do firmly believe
Oh boy, that was
I am
deep.
perfect and flawless in every regard.
that the
Oh
United States,
boy.
I firmly believe that the United States should be that shining city on the hill, and it should be,
Do you think America is a
Okay.
great now? Not that it'll ever
See,
become great again. Do you think it's even kind of great?
I think it's still great. I mean,
When was it ever great?
politicians come and go. I think America was the greatest right after World War II, and I think
So you
we
think
haven't.
after the Civil War, when we implemented socialism on a federal scale, it was still
Well,
great
I
then?
believe that we didn't really become a country until after the Civil War. I mean, the period from
Oh, so which one are you did you fight for? The Federals or
absolutely the
the
Union must
other
stay together.
rebels?
No, though, in my opinion, that was an insurrection.
You're pro union?
I'm pro
hello,
United
Hooker.
States.
No, 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 no. I didn't ask that.
Well, the Union side was fighting.
Centralized federal top-down government. You're
Well, that's
pro
how we won the war.
authoritarian?
That's how we won the war. I mean,
No, that's not how you.
oh
You won the
yeah,
war by
no,
killing more of your enemies. That's how you win
no.
wars.
DC federalized all the railroads, told all the companies you're going to now start building this, and the South had a big problem with that.
I'll tell you a little secret how they won the war. They sold the lie that it was about slavery, and that's how they got everyone to fight tooth and
No,
nail
it's
for it.
not.
Well, it's a little bit more complicated than that.
That was a byproduct.
It's a lot more
It
complicated
was
than that.
about
I mean,
centralized federal power.
it was more
Top-down
about
authoritarianism.
it was more about here comes the Industrial Revolution, and the Southern states had a
The
lot to
economy
lose.
is irrelevant to the size and power of
And
government.
and the fact is, the North was going to basically dictate how everything which happened in the country, and the South had a big problem with that. Yes, it centered around slavery. Slavery has been an issue since the forming of our country. It was sort of a compromise we made when we did the Constitution, saying, okay, you guys can still sort of keep slavery, but states aren't allowed to leave the Union.
So, which side did the people who didn't want slaves but also didn't want a centralized federal government fight on?
I don't know.
They didn't get that choice. It's just like today. You don't get a choice. You either get
You
cherry
you need a
flavored
centralized.
Uniparty or blueberry flavored
What do you
Well,
need
Uniparty.
choices for? You have choice of your own life. What,
I mean, I will
just
agree.
pointed to you, Jeff. They had no choice. If
I
you
will
wanted
agree with
talking
no
you.
about
slavery but no central government,
because you said it's
which
just like today.
which choice did you have?
You said it's just like today.
We wouldn't
Right,
survive.
right.
We
So
wouldn't.
just
And I'm
like they
saying, what
sold you
kind
the
of
lie.
choice are you looking for from the government that's so
Listen one more
crucial
time.
to
If
your
I
life?
was born in Civil War times and I wanted
Right.
no slavery and no centralized
I'm not going
federal
to get an answer.
government, which side am I fighting on, the North or the South?
Well, the majority of people in the South didn't own slaves, so
Do you
All
see how
he's
it's not
doing
a
is
choice, Jeff?
re-asking
They've
his
already
own question.
decided for you
well,
what
that's
you
You
need
because
to
didn't. You
choose.
didn't have to fight.
you tacitly consented to it.
We could have done a third party,
No,
an
no,
independent party during the
you were
Civil War.
born
I
in the
fly
United
too.
States and you tacitly consented to it. And you are right. After the Civil War, the Fed centralized power, and that's sort of
Don't
been.
worry, it's just temporary, and we'll only tax the rich people, right? Am I right, bruh?
Um,
Well, the government should own the central government or the federal government should only be, in my opinion, they should only be worried about national defense.
I agree. I
All the
absolutely agree.
welfare programs and all that should be a state by state issue.
Okay, Chuck. Now here comes the sleight of hand. Peace through strength. That's why we must police the world. Checkmate.
Peace through strength used to be my tag on my my YouTube
See,
channel.
Chuck, you just fell right into their trap.
What are you talking
Well,
about?
that's the Feds.
He's like, what are you
But
talking
but all of this has benefited us. It's benefited you. It's benefited Chuck. I mean, we take the most resources from the planet,
Hey,
and you know
Chuck,
what?
how much benefit are you
It
getting
doesn't have to be
from
fair.
bombing Iran right now? How's that
Oh
helping
yeah,
I
out your
I
let
need
bank?
to
I
get an
got
update on
well,
that.
I
Let
have
me
to
know.
go check my stock prices. I'll let you know.
Yeah. Let me go check my bunker busting stock and see how that's doing.
U.S.
That's probably
joins
Oh,
Israel's attack on Iran, but it's official. All the news sites are now reporting it.
yes,
So
Yeah.
yes.
there's
So
the
where's that
But
two
guy
we
who
all
wrote?
we
strikes.
did was we dropped the bombs and we got out.
Right. That's
that's
all
all we
we
should
know
have
so
done.
far, but that's not going to stop the
Piece of
narratives
cake.
from blowing up.
2
Hey,
Correct.
Mr.
weeks.
B.
We're
This'll be
not
2 weeks,
sending
fellas.
troops to Iran. I mean, we just
Oh, and for anybody that wanted to know, when he held that security uh, conference this afternoon, it was Chelsea Gabbard didn't get invited. The other guy did.
Okay. So I know about the Tulsi Gabbard thing. What
Called
the
it.
hell's going on with that? Is she disagreeing that with?
She's
Yes,
pointing out facts
yes.
and reality, and
I
we
mean, I
can't
could,
have that kind of
I
fake
could have told
news
you
in
Yeah,
the
but
that.
White
Tulsi
House.
Gabbard, she's kind of a
Oh,
weirdo.
Ratcliffe. Ratcliffe is the one that attended the
But no
meeting.
John
Tulsi.
Ratcliffe.
Oh, poor Tulsi.
Yeah, John
Yeah.
Ratcliffe.
Well, I
Ratcliffe.
mean, what
Now it's
else did they
become
think Trump would do? Have they watched Trump at all?
the He-Man Woman Haters Club. No cooties
Ooh,
allowed.
I remember that. Little Rascals.
Oh, I love getting the
What
jollies
was that?
and
I
Boomer.
remember the first runs, not the second
Okay,
rerun.
Nine Inch Nails, it was
The
fun,
black
but
and white
admit
ones?
your
Yes, it
defeat and
was,
move on.
Yeah.
and your points
I
are
meant black, like
correct
filmed in black and white.
in many cases. So
Just say, I bend the knee to Emperor Phi and move on. None can
Now,
stop
now,
me.
what do you think about this, By a drug dealer's automatic
Automatic what?
death
death sentence,
sentence
like
to
in
be
freaking
carried out within 30 days?
A
like in
drug
Indonesia or
dealer gets
China?
automatic death
I
sentence? What
don't
the fuck
agree
are you
with that.
talking about, dude? What
Yeah,
country
that's
are
Yes,
we talking about?
kind of silly.
my country. I'm building my own country now.
Oh,
If
okay.
No,
you can
Well, I
build
won't
no,
be.
one, I can
I
build
won't be
one.
visiting.
no, you can't. I'll
That's
wipe out your country with bunker busters. Fuck
Well,
off.
I will
Yeah.
sell you guys both weapons, and then
First of all,
based on my
Chuck,
political ideology, I'll give one of you better weapons than the other, and
hold
then
on, let me lecture
I'll be a
Chuck.
rich man.
First of all, Chuck, for those of us that have morals, pro-life means whether they're in jail or they're in the womb. So no, you're not allowed to kill people. False.
According
What
to the
about if they
Bible, I
hijack
can.
planes and
Also,
they're
why would you
terrorists?
give them the pleasure of release? If they've done some really evil, vile shit, wouldn't you make them pay for it for the rest of their
You know
life?
that Timothy McVeigh who bombed the in Oklahoma, he wanted to
Oklahoma.
die. I think they should have just kept him in jail and let him rot because he wanted to die.
Exactly. See, Chuck, this guy gets it. Why
Yeah,
don't
Kill the
you?
people who don't want to die, and
he's a
don't kill the
drug
ones who want to die.
user.
who is Nick?
Nick. Yeah.
Oh,
Oh, the
hardcore, man.
Adderall.
Hardcore.
Obviously, he's from
You-
California.
the
A bunch of
meth.
Well, he was talking
potheads.
about ketamine and mushrooms and other
No, not
stuff.
mushrooms. I won't do
Oh,
mushrooms.
oh,
And
no
ketamine
mushrooms.
is legal in
Well, I'm a
California, so
libertarian, so do all the drugs you want, including killing yourself and making room for intelligent people. So don't let me stop you.
yeah, I'm intelligent enough to know what drugs to take.
There you go. See, we're big boys, Chuck. We wear our big boy pants in here.
I don't
Really?
need the government to tell me what I can and cannot take.
We
But I
don't
didn't.
need Big
I
Daddy
didn't
government to
marry
tell
an
us how to wipe our
international
ass.
spy. You know, I didn't marry a spy.
Stop. Shh. Keep
I
it
don't
under
know.
your
When you
hat,
told me
dude.
she was mail order, I don't know.
No, that's just a joke for the retards. But if you fell for it,
Hey,
Sure,
that says
T-Ball.
more about
sure.
you.
Well, you said it, and I assumed you were telling
It's
the
a
truth.
joke for the
Okay.
retards.
Well, if that's not the case, then she's a total legal citizen, and yeah.
Yeah, she's a good girl. Actually, she doesn't like the CC. It turns out. Hold on. I hope you're sitting down for this. It turns out it's possible there are Chinese people that don't like the CCP.
I've heard that before.
They
True,
don't like
true.
what?
The CCP, Chinese Communist
Oh.
Party. I've
I
heard that
was
before.
working with a Chinese girl in, I can't remember, Shenzhen or somewhere, when I was order a lot of stuff from them, and I told her, I said, you need to watch what you say because apparently you guys get in bad trouble. But
Oh yeah,
she
social credit score,
she
buddy. It'll
was
get you.
she was big time anti CCP.
Just ask all the Chinese in Hong Kong how much they like.
Yeah,
the
how much they
CCP.
like it.
That's a good
Yep.
example.
Well, you got to thank Britain for that, or
Or
United
ask
Kingdom.
the millions of mainland Chinese that disappeared in re-education camps and gulags how much they love the
Ooh,
CCP.
Jack Talcott theory. He wants re-education camps.
Wait, what? I didn't hear about this one.
Oh,
Is he a guy? Jack Talcott's a communist? My mind is blown. I never would have guessed that that was
Oh yeah,
physically
he
possible.
told me and Flo one day that he wanted re-education camps for those that would not agree with his thought if he ever became leader.
You got a problem with that, comrade? There goes your social credit score. I'm
See,
telling
now you
Jack
know why I
Talcott.
have such a
my social credit score was blown up way before
so
that.
now you see
I
why I
went
have
through it.
such a problem with him, Jeff.
For the motherland. Well, anyways, Nine Inch Nails, when you're serious, you know how to find me, but I gotta go
9 inch
destroy
Are you
Flo.
nails.
going to Flo's?
Yeah, he's probably saying something super retarded, so I have to keep him in
Hey,
check.
you know he's got a new channel, right? I
I'll have to find it. What's it
He said
called?
powder dusty. I put it in the back.
the
Oh,
Powder Dusty, yes.
okay. I will look for it. Is this one monetized approved, or did he get that
Yes,
one banned
yes,
yet?
yes. This one's monetized. He couldn't get the other one remonetized.
Anyways, Jeff, before I bail out, check out my latest bombshell. I cured autism and mental illness all in one stream, so
No,
check it out.
you got a
Wait,
weak
it's a live
foundation.
stream or a video?
It was my usual,
Oh, with the little robot?
yeah. She did all the
Oh.
talking, but I
Oh
guided
my
her in the right
God, I
direction.
can't stand that crap.
It's because it's right. That's why you can't handle
Alright,
the
I might
truth,
check
Chuck.
It's an LLM that's based on falsity.
Is it the short? Wait, hang on. I can't find it. It's
It's the latest
alive?
one. It says
Is it
mental
Yo
health.
Sup?
No, you're talking
Bots
on
and Evil
Yosop right
Tards,
now.
13 mental illness?
Yeah, that one.
Okay.
Evil
And I already
tards.
did the gay one before anyway, but we've covered that more than 10
How do
times
you
already.
cure that, I-Fi?
First of all, get rid of the Catholic Church. Step one.
Okay.
Step
Hey,
two.
I worship Cathol. If I were religious, it would be all about Cathol.
No. That's where all the
All right, the
holes come
church
from.
is gone. Now what?
Oh crap!
And then bring good men back into the home. Good, strong,
Oh,
masculine
I'm all
alpha
for that.
males. And so, I don't see. He thinks he's making the
I'm ready
gay
to do
joke,
my
but this
part.
is actually the cure. This is how you cure them, Chuck. So, if
I'm
he had a
listening. I'm
good,
waiting.
strong alpha male in his life, he would be just as straight as you, Chuck. That's the solution.
You trying to say he didn't have a male figure?
I ask him,
Therefore,
what
Hey,
did you have in
Ren.
your life, Jeff? Who was your role model?
Huh?
Who was your role model growing up?
RuPaul.
Yep.
No.
Was it a mother, perhaps?
I had many role models. Like
Which men
I drew
were
from
your
all
role
over. I had
models?
family members, teachers. I had m- music people, like bands I listened to. I had
When did you
actors, and
Was
when
there
did
a
you
father
figure
I
out you
picked
were
figure?
them from
gay, Jeff?
everywhere.
Was there a
When did you
father
figure
figure?
out you were
No,
gay?
there was a stepdad, but it wasn't.
A stepdad, Chuck. See, do you hear
Uh-huh.
what he's
When
telling
did
you
you
now?
figure out you were
Yeah,
gay, Jeff?
and like puberty.
Was it roughly around the
Really?
time when your brain was processing the idea of your parents' divorce,
No,
perhaps?
that happened way when I was. I don't even remember that it happened when I was very, very young. I
No,
had no memory of it.
processing, not aware of it, but properly
There was nothing to
processing the idea.
process. I wasn't aware of it.
You weren't aware that your parents got divorced? You
No,
didn't know your
they
stepdad was a
happened like it
stepdad?
A
happened before my
divorce
memory
played no
started forming.
factor. Yeah, I can
I
see
was like
that.
2 or 3 years old.
No,
I
one more
lived
time,
I lived through
Jeff.
I
Listen to
lived
me.
through 14 of them. It
Hold
has
on,
no
hold on,
effect on you.
hold on, Chuck. Hold on, Chuck. Listen to me one more time, Jeff. I didn't say at the time of your divorce. I'm saying at what time did you process
It
the
wasn't my divorce.
divorce?
There was nothing to process. I didn't experience
You never
it
thought
as an
deep in your
event.
mind how it's affecting you personally,
It
the
didn't affect
separation
me.
of your
It
biological
didn't affect me.
parents.
It did
It
not
didn't.
affect me.
Yeah,
Do you believe that, Chuck?
I do. I went through 14
In
of them.
fact, I was glad. I was glad that I
14
didn't
divorce?
grow up
What
with
the
my
fuck,
dad. I didn't
Chuck?
want
What
him
happened to
around.
in your life,
So it
dude?
worked out.
Oh my! It's a long story. I think I'm related now to half the state of Illinois.
Are you serious, dude? You went through 14 divorces?
Yeah, or
That's
experienced
How
awesome.
the
it. Yeah.
fuck, dude?
That's a badge of honor.
How the fuck do you even get married? That are they just like getting divorced every other week or something? Like how does that work? I can't
It was
imagine.
a long stretch of time, even up to the end. They were doing that.
Shit, dude. But look, you turned out straight, Chuck. So see, free will does matter, doesn't it?
But then why did my brothers turn out straight if it was divorce? Why would it not have affected all
Because
of
Are
us?
are they
free
younger
will is
or
not the
older?
same in all individuals, Jeff. We
Oh,
all
so
choose
there's
our
other
own path.
factors then.
There may have been other influential nurturing
Okay.
variables that they
And
didn't
why
like
does it matter
process.
to you so much?
The
Why?
truth is the only thing
I
that
am.
To
matters to me,
cure.
Jeff.
He wants to cure the planet. Is what he's after.
Because the truth is the only thing that matters to
What does
me,
cure
Jeff.
mean?
I don't know. That's what I. Well, that's what I'm trying to get out of him. He's got all these
Yeah, this is
answers
just
for
this is
all
see
these.
this is I-Fi being weird. That's why you're never gonna have
Because
your little
we're
community on the
trying to
mass scale because
cure all
it's
the
too
evil
weird.
retards, and then there'll only be good and intelligent people left.
If we spread human rights.
With
So
bunker
you and I agree
bombs.
with this.
Bunker
You and
buster
I-Fi?
bombs is how we cure
Damn right.
it.
Peace through strength.
See, when
Carry
he
a big stick and walk softly.
when
Y'all
he
are no
witnessed
different
my
than the woke
power,
and no
he
different
bent
than
the
the
knee.
Karens. Y'all have opinions on how everybody should be living, and y'all are ready to go
Well,
out and
I'm not woke,
enforce
but
it.
Karen's okay. You're right. I have an opinion on how everybody should live.
Yeah, and you're
But
willing
if you're
to
right, it's not really being a
enforce it.
Karen.
Anyways, it's not the exact same answer, but it's similar. Mental illness, autism, all that jazz. It's all in the same bucket.
Yeah.
Just watch the episode, you'll see.
Wow.
Well,
I cured them all.
Interesting.
It
you
took me
sound
like
like you
3
might be an
Interesting.
minutes.
expert.
I am the expert. All right, well, I'm going to go harass Flow State, but good luck with your. How many more subs do you need?
I don't know. I
17, I
haven't
think.
checked.
18?
I
You
think it
didn't
went.
get one sub yet?
Oh, am I losing? The number's
You're
going up.
losing,
Shit.
Jeff.
I'll
You're
have to do
losing.
part 2 tomorrow. I want my disco. Oh, I am losing now. I need 18. I
Yeah, I've been
It's
spreading the
been
word.
982 this morning.
I'm gonna be so let down if I don't get my disco
I
party.
don't sub to anyone, so nothing personal, but
I,
get fucked. All right,
I've
later.
Well,
already.
how are you commenting in the comments? Because you have to be sub to comment.
The hell I do?
Well, how are you
Uh-oh.
doing it?
Because I'm on your panel, retard.
No, like when you type in the chat. You were in the chat the other day.
I don't know, dude. That's YouTube.
Oh.
Here, I'll do it again.
Well, because you're
I'm
doing it through
not
your channel.
subbed. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Somebody's
so
backstage, Jeff, I
you
think.
thought it was sub only, but you were wrong, Jeff. See, that's why you need me to expose reality to you. Just because you feel like it's true doesn't make it true.
Well, I still think you're subbed.
You can have my one viewer, Jeff. I bestow upon you that gift.
Oh, that would be me then.
Oh,
I think
that's
I'm
Chuck.
still.
Well, never mind.
I
Fuck
think
it.
I
I'm
got
still
it.
subbed.
I had it before you did. You were as my leftovers.
Anyways, I had fun, fellas, but there's no one here left to destroy, so I must move on to the other retards and
I
Are there
think
fools.
any to
Mel's
destroy?
backstage.
Take care, I5.
Who? Oh, Mel's
Melanie.
Chuck,
watching.
let me do my panel.
You can have him.
I don't need a co-host.
Oh, I'm
Later
sorry.
on. It was fun. Bye.
Yeah, I felt bad the other night for vouching for it and turning
Oh, that
into
was you that
total.
vouched? But you weren't the only one,
Yeah,
because there were other
yeah.
people, like, saying that.
I did not realize she was going to get that radical. Because if you get her calmed down, she can have some decent conversations. But it takes a while to get there to wear her down to where she'll have a normal
Yeah, I don't have that kind
conversation.
of patience. I know enough of the pattern to know
Yeah,
what
all he
not to
wants to
know.
do is comes in and wants to fight right off the bat. And I'm more of a lover than a fighter. Screw all that fighting crap. All right, well, I got to go give the nightly injection to the wife, so I'll catch
Okay.
up with you a little
All
later.
right. Well, thanks again. It was good seeing you
I'm
again.
trying to get you some subs, dude. It's hard. It's
I
hard.
know it really is. I thought we might have to bring back our golden goose.
I put in my server, just like click the link and just sub, and I don't think anybody did.
They
Yeah, I
did.
dropped it in a couple of discords I'm in, trying to get
Oh
people just
no.
to sub up. I told them they can quit later, but I'm up now.
Oh, is that 10 p.m. Eastern? Is that's like, oh, that's still late. I'll probably be in bed. Shit. Now I'm scared to go to bed. What's
Oh, Trump has
what am I
announced
gonna
he
wake up
will.
to?
Is that Eastern or Central?
I'm assuming Eastern,
Pacific.
but even at Eastern, it's gonna be late for me.
That'd be what, 9 p.m. Central?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He already tweeted it out on Truth Social. Like, what else is he
Oh
gonna say
yeah,
at
he
10
he
p.m.?
spit that out so fast, made people's heads spin. Even the news service couldn't keep up with it. They were way behind.
That was so funny. He's like, I'm gonna take the next 2 weeks to think about it. Y'all have 2 weeks. And
Nah,
then like the next day,
that's not what he said.
he
He said,
did.
well, he said it's a fluid situation that's going to
But he said
change
he would make a decision within 2 weeks or by 2 weeks.
to enter the war.
Yeah.
Play on words, I think, is what we saw.
Hey, Jeff, I'm gonna go have dinner. Thank you for having me.
Oh,
What's
you
his
too,
name,
Nick.
Nick?
Yeah.
If nuclear war starts later this evening, I'll come back.
I'm
Oh man.
telling you,
Okay. I'll probably be
because
in bed.
I'll be looking for that.
Amen,
Oh,
brother.
it's my dream.
Cause we're our my there's a Navy base like a few blocks from me that is on the
You know
target
those
list. So if
those
they start
bombers,
firing stuff, we're a target.
Well, if you
those
want,
bombers flew
I
out of
won't be here tomorrow.
Missouri.
yeah, we keep our B. So I was talking to Mr. B, like why they went to Guam. B-2
They
bombers are
didn't.
stored in the center of our country. It's probably easier for them to go to Guam than go all the way down to Diego
Well, we
Garcia.
had 6 of them in Abu Garcia already.
Well, we have B-52s and B-1s there, and I guess we wanted to use the B-2, which is not stationed in Diego Garcia. So
But the ones from Missouri didn't go to Guam. They're the ones that dropped the bombs, ain't they?
yeah, they can make it to Iran without having to stop at Guam. I don't know why they did. I think that was a little bit of political theater.
Yeah, but did they really stop at Guam? That was my question.
Yeah, there's
I'm
no
get,
reason they didn't have
I'm
to.
reading. I'm getting conflicting reports on the feeds
Same
I'm
here.
following.
Because the B-2 is designed to be able to go from the center of our country and bomb anywhere in the world. It doesn't have to stop to get fuel. It can refuel in the air.
Oh yeah,
But
they're
but
true.
yeah, during dinner I'm going to watch the news and watch all the pundits get it all wrong, and maybe we can discuss it later.
Yeah, because I'm sure it's going to turn into a hot topic again tonight.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to start a war. I think we did.
No, I don't either.
I think we did. If the bombing was successful, then we've done our job, and
Yeah.
now we can move out.
Now, if it proves it didn't complete the task, I can see him doing it again on the same 3 sides.
Yeah, I mean that's the mission objective, and if we didn't complete it today, then let's do it again.
2 of them were nuclear enrichment facilities, and the third one was where they store the enriched.
Probably where they store the
Yeah,
weapons
yeah,
grade plutonium.
yeah. That was the third site where they
I'm
store
also
that.
I'm gonna look more into whatever this Tulsi Gabbard was talking about because I did like her statement was kind of weird, and it's like, why are you coming out now saying this?
Yep.
Uh, it does show a little bit of dysfunction in
And
our
soon as
agency.
she as soon as she said that too, she was no longer invited to any of the situation room meetings.
Yeah, I
John
mean,
Ratcliffe has been going.
her position, but they don't invite her. But anyways, I'm gonna go have dinner and watch.
All right.
I'm gonna put Fox News, MSNBC, and CNN all like on different screens and
My
see who's
God,
gonna be
that's
shouting and
intense.
complaining at.
The
It's like
Matrix.
a panel.
Well, I gotta go
Yeah.
take care of the wife. I'll talk to you guys in a little bit.
Okay, take care, Chuck.
All right. Get there,
African,
Jeff.
you
We can
still
hit
there?
1,000. We can get 1,000. Damn it.
Yeah, I will. I think I was having false hope. I got so
Well, that's why
optimistic.
I'm buying membership to try to drag people in to remember that you're still
Oh yeah,
alive.
I might have to do that. Maybe maybe I'll try that
You've been
tomorrow.
giving out your memberships, your free ones.
Yeah, but you only get 10 a
Okay.
month.
Okay. All right. We'll talk to you guys in a little while.
All right. Oh. Where'd you go? Oh, there you are.
Hey,
Hey, what's up?
not much. Enjoying watching people react to, the bombs.
Oh, live. We, because it just happened. I'm still catching up on the headlines myself.
I think the new, official, meme-like motto on X would be monitoring the situation. That's what I usually do anyway. Oh,
Well, he's supposed to talk in like what, an hour? So I'll either wake up tomorrow or I won't.
Of course, you'll wake up tomorrow, brother. I
I
mean,
can,
there,
probably. I
there
mean,
was
I
one
won't know if I
guy.
don't. But
There's one friend of mine. Okay, he we were actually early friends, so we didn't know each other much. It was a very quick friendship. He's a lovely fella. And he died in his sleep at his friend's house. He was
how old
uber
was he?
fit. It was like
Oh my God!
29, something like that.
Just like random.
Again, like wasn't overweight, wasn't that in his early years he was a maniac. He took like everything he could under the sun, didn't he?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I don't think he intervened, so he never used needles necessarily, but God knows what went through him. And then he got fit, and then he got really fit, and he was like, "Yeah, I'm the fittest." And one evening, after a few drinks with a friend, passed out at his house on his sofa. Guy never woke up. Oh,
Oh wow.
yeah, it was one of the other guys at the wake, I think, that we were chatting about. He said to me like, "Oh shit, man, I wouldn't want to die in my sleep." And I was like, "Oh, what is that?" Most people think, "Oh, 'cause do you know you've died? Your consciousness doesn't." I was like, "Oh." But now I thought, when you get blown up by an IED, there's no blink of an eye, like the nuclear bomb, like anything that warfare has. The best bet is instant, right? Not
Yeah.
suffrage.
Yeah. Vaporized. Supposedly you can't die in your dreams because you haven't experienced it. Like your dreams are drawn from what you've experienced in life, and they can't simulate something you haven't experienced.
hmm.
I've never died in my dreams.
Yeah, but
Have,
if
have
you
you,
apply that to other possible simulated situations, does it hold?
I don't know. Like
oh
video
shit! I
games.
would say, how many times have you almost died?
Right. Or like have you,
That's what I would
killed
say.
someone
Yeah,
in your
your loved
dreams
one.
but not
Yeah,
in real life?
Well,
Or,
I wake
like
up. I
there's
yeah,
remember like
yeah. There's a few, and again,
like when I was a kid, I dreamed that I fell off of a skyscraper. And it was me rolling out of the bed, and then I woke up when I hit the floor, and it woke me out of the dream. So I never actually died in the dream.
I mean
So I've
that
had stuff like
jives
that happen.
that jives with stories I've heard from people. I can't actually remember actually like, almost dying in dreams. I usually win in my dreams, so
I mean, they do say it's like it's your subconscious, your conscious that and the other
Still
deal is
can't
that when we
fly.
when we end, as in if you're looking at a total sort of agnostic or
Like you're conscious of dying, Kane. Like you would die in real life, like you drown or something in the dream, and then you're in a new dream. That's weird. What does it feel like? But I've never flown before either, and I can do that in my dream. Like, when you lift off the ground and you hover in the air with your hands. I've never done that in real life,
you have to
but
use your
somehow
hands
my
to fly.
dream is able to compile the sensation of it out of something. In fact, that's the only time I've ever had that sensation is in a dream. There's nothing in life that gives that feeling.
Yeah, I've done
what do you
lots of
mean
things
there's
in
nothing?
dreams
Wait,
that I
hang on,
haven't
hang
done
on,
in real
hang
life.
on, hang on. What do you mean there's nothing in life that gives that?
You know how you fly in your dreams? That
Yeah.
feeling
I
you get
know. I don't
when
know,
you're
but have you
flying.
ever
There's
jumped out of
nothing in
plane?
life that
No. Have
that
you
would
ever jumped
provide
out of
that. It
plane?
only comes from doing it in a
No,
dream.
that's not true. No, I mean, I thought that was like a weird thing because I hate heights. But some of my training, I had to engage heights, and really, they weren't good heights. It was scary, but I had to be confident in my gear and understand what I was doing, and then I'd be safe in that, even though it's a I can't do this, but I have to do it. All right. And I was trained to fucking do it. So when you actually fall, free fall, bro, that's when you actually have like the weirdest thoughts because there's no gravity hitting your head. It's really peaceful up there when you fall. but
Did you fly?
I mean, it's, yeah, of course. You fall. Well, yeah, that's flying, isn't it? I don't have a jet on my fucking back
What?
at
How
that
did you
high.
fly? Did you have one of those suits?
No. No, we were parachuting. The point is that, and free falling. The point is you had to understand that sort of wow, this is weird moment that no human really gets to have because you have to, it's not a natural human
No, that's
experience,
what I'm
right?
saying. I've never had it,
You jump and then you
other than
feel
in the
fine.
dream. So somehow the dream
No.
gives me
Yeah,
that.
the dream thing they say is like an uncontrol. You can't. There's something that you're falling from in you.
No, it's when you're jumping off the ground into the air, and then you stay in the air and you hover. Like flap your hands and you hover in the air for a
Well,
little while.
you're always like a foot away from the earth. Are
Yeah,
you? Yeah.
yeah. There's
Weird. That's called astral projection.
no.
Yeah, I mean it would be, yeah, because if you're doing it in that moment,
Okay, well, let's pretend it's astral projection. There's nothing in real life that gives you that other than astral projection, which is something that happens
and
inside your
that's what
mind.
no, that's your dreams, as you say, and everyone's dreams is their own dream. Like every experience from another person
How do
is
you
their
know?
own experience. Yeah, collectively you have to say what is bad and good, but
Well, speaking of dreams, I'm about to
I just find
have
it
to go
interesting
have
that you
some.
use your hands to fly.
Do what?
I said I just find it interesting that you use your hands to fly. I sometimes have to like kick my
How do
legs.
you fly without you do this? I can't be
Focus
the
really
only
hard with
one
my
that
brain
you're
and then
like
sometimes
standing
have
on
to
the
like
ground
kick with
and
my
you jump a
legs.
little bit and you somehow keep yourself in the air by doing this. But then
Once I'm in the
eventually
air,
you hit the
it's
ground
just
again.
my
It doesn't
mind.
last long. You could do it for like a few seconds.
Oh no, I can go fly over the
And you
usual.
really
Once
feel
I get
like you
going,
could
I can
do it.
get
And then
over
you
over
wake
the high
up,
lines, and then I like go land on barns
but you
and
don't flap.
buildings.
You don't use your hands.
Uh-uh.
Well, you fly high then and long.
Yeah.
I can only get
Like I said,
like a
sometimes
few seconds of
I like
lift off
run
when I
with
have
my
to flap my
legs.
hands.
I have to like kick my legs sometimes to get it going. But then it's just mental after I get going. I feel like this could be an interesting. I'm not gonna like add this to my collection of like I'm gonna have to collect this particular tidbit from as many people as possible in order.
but
I have a few of those, but I'm like, this is interesting in how it varies.
but ain't it the experiences? Because sometimes, like, 'cause I've done a bit of diving and holding my breath, free diving. The hardest thing is when I dream of that, and I hold my breath, and I wake up going, and they,
Oh.
yeah, I know,
Do you get further in your dream than you
No,
do
no,
in
no, no.
life?
Most of the time, it's cool. Like even like you say with the flying thing, it's like hovered up, but it's also understanding one's dream, and that's when you kind of cross that weird time in your head that needs to delete most of your day. That's
You
what it
seem
is,
like
isn't
you've
it?
crossed some dreams.
Oh, it must be, isn't it? I mean, that's why we sleep
Yeah.
so much as well. Not like cats, but generally because our brains need to kind of download and offload, and most of it is about fear and keeping safe. That's why we fear falling or have these, you know, premonitions. We would say our conscious is telling us because we, in the day, it affects us.
Take care, Mr. B. Oh yeah, that's coming up in an hour, isn't it? The Trump.
I say, speak for yourself. I agree with the reset thing. I think it's probably more individualized as to what the primary, nature of what needs processed is.
Yeah, he just bombed Iran, Angel, and he's speaking in an hour. He's giving an official. I'm sorry, they bombed 3 nuclear facilities in Iran.
Okay, now did they really? It's official, yeah.
Yeah, it's official.
Yeah, 100%.
His
Fuck.
little Truth Social tweet turned out to be true for once.
Wow, America.
So I just love to see how everybody's brain goes. Some people are like, "Oh, that's," and then they're like trying to justify it or unjustify it morally, based on some, moral or moral-esque system. And then some people are like, "Oh dear, is it going to turn into like nuclear war?" And then I'm over here just going, "Well, that seems like a
Probably not.
understandable tactical choice given what information is, I know from can get from public sources. So seems like a conservative tactical move, not a cautious one. People confuse conservative with cautious, but wait and see.
Yeah, I guess it is.
Does not seem like an overreaction. I guess that's my impression.
Well, and then also there was
it
this
feels
thing
like
about
reasonable
isn't it
tactical
like
problem.
America, Israel can only do so much because America's the only country with this special technology that can penetrate the bunkers or something, and so they were waiting for America to do their little part of it.
I mean, it's possible. I don't know.
I saw something about that on one of my feeds, but I didn't fact check any of it.
Yeah, I mean, we
But that Israel needs America, like technologically and logistically, to do part of what they can't fully do themselves.
Well, what it is that American can do it via what. It's a little more complicated. What I understand of it is that Israel could probably do it with ground forces. Like they probably do have sufficient technology and might to, say, take out the deep bunker, but they would have to use ground forces, and there would be, take longer, much more casualties. Whereas America has the bunker busters, and so we hypothetically can just fly over and take care of it, right? So we can take care of it more easily and with like less fallout.
So that's like I'm thinking that's just what we did. We're like, okay, we'll do the little bunker buster part.
So you guys realize that these 3 axes have been working together for a while, which is China, Korea, Iran, and Russia. Yeah.
And then they try to throw Brazil in there, but is Brazil really a threat?
Well, no, but I mean the BRICS is another thing.
It's not BRICS.
Yeah, but I mean, even if you look at it as again, don't try to oversize this. If you look at the situation, you look at it as a tactical, from a tactical perspective, not a strategic one, right? It's a kind of, to me, it's a, okay, we've tried to talk to you. We need to make a move. So they made a tactical choice. We bombed these strategic. Right, we bombed strategic targets. It was very precise. It's a relatively conservative tactical move. And now it's to see what the response is. Right, like this was not a move in order to produce a specific result in a certain way, is the way I see it. It was a move to see what the response was, right? Like it's a rather mild move to see what the response is. And then more strategic to kind of, see where everybody's oriented in the strategic sense. And then more strategic predictions and responses can be made. Okay. But you get to a point in any sort of strategic situation where you just have to you have to make the parts move, right? Like you're like, okay, I know this where everybody's kind of at up to this point, and then you have to create a movement in the I call it the battlefield, right? And see what the response is in order to sort of go past a certain point.
Trump loves doing that kind of stuff.
Yeah, he can think strategically. I actually believe that, and I don't give that assessment.
Well, Trump changed when The bullet went past his ear.
I
People
know, but
say,
just his literal capacity to think strategically. He's demonstrated it
so
before.
I understand we're Trump and us, and we sit here, but why then has the West, okay, especially with the advent of what happened in Afghanistan and Iraq, and Libya, Syria, and the whole fucking spiel with ISIS and the what was it called, the Arab Spring, that they funneled money into. Don't get me wrong, I understand their strategic empire to take the gold away and whatever, change things again. But all the time, especially with Iran, they've instilled a Ayatollah, which is a theocracy, which comes down to what Islam is, be it that we're from a Christian nation, that we've given right to the revolutions to happen that way. And they've gone, yeah, that's okay. We're not allowed a revolution in our own lands because we've come to an agreement. And look at our nations being swallowed up, aren't they, because of liberalism and the ideal of individualism, totalitarianism. Fuck, it's gone mad. And now again, like the corporates are utilizing this AI
You think
crap.
individualism's gone mad?
Yeah, completely.
You're one of the most individualistic people in the Panelverse.
Oh, no,
You couldn't even be who you are without individualism.
no shit, bro. But it doesn't mean it in numbers and scale. We're a very small little ideal here, man. We're very small. Do you think this stuff would be global? Do you reckon we could be spread across 50 million people to hear my voice? Yeah, no, they wouldn't like that shit. They'd be like, close that crap down, man, because you can't think
20,
like that. Critical
17,
thinking like
18.
this. Fuck off. You're a fucking slave to society. You choose to be a slave. And now
I love being a slave.
Of course.
I want more of it.
That's your
I
comfort.
can't believe
That's your
how
comfort. Yeah.
awesome it is. It's an opportunity to make
Oh,
money and
you got to give
build a
something.
life for myself and
Yeah, I understand
start
when
a
we
savings
should.
and retire, all that stuff.
So then we should then.
It's amazing with how slavery is lifting us out of the primitive material conditions that most
Jeff,
of humans spent their
in that
history
same word, then we should tell ourselves what we do, what we have, is based on, again, people's fucking backs.
No, it's based on human ingenuity.
No, it's not.
It's an amazing system that they created that can provide this kind of opportunity to the amount of people that it does. Hey, we're getting together to make a bunch of money, and you can come do a part of it and make some of that money too. Like, wow. I'll show up. Show me what I need to do.
I give you that. I really do.
I like working with other people, other humans, and collaborating to pull off a project that no one of us could have pulled off on our own. It's like larger than any
Does
one
happen,
person.
yes, indeed.
And it spills over and it benefits multiple people beyond just us. I love all that shit. It just has me in awe. So yeah, give me more. I'll take the slavery. Give me more of it.
So the ideals of that is how one could be, again, over what you understand and what one would be comfortable with, right? That's what it's about, isn't it? Because one has to actually go, I'm better than you, to make more money than you. I'm considerably richer than you, as they say.
Well, some people do get paid more because they provide more value.
It is a choice.
Brain surgeons are going to make more than I do, and I could not do what the brain surgeon is doing.
Flashes her little, ankles, makes more money than me.
Well, you could flash an ankle.
Oh, yeah,
Start you an OnlyFans.
Yeah, man, you know, bro.
I'm sure there's a niche for someone like you.
I mean, to a certain extent, it's a choice to choose monetary wealth as the universalizable measure of hypothetical meritocracy, right? Like you can choose what value spectrum you think is actually that delineates the superior from the inferior, right?
Oh yeah,
money's
so
the easy
you
one,
guys
and a
live
lot of
in
people
America.
choose that, but it's not inherently the
Yeah,
obvious choice in any sense. It's just sort of the easy choice.
Yeah, but you guys live in America, right?
that's right.
Yeah,
Correct.
so America is now bombing Iran, so that's your money going to that.
So is Israel. I mean, we just started. They've been doing it.
Yeah, I mean, I have principled and ideological or political views, whatever you want, about actions taken from a domestic perspective, from a taxpayer perspective, and that's one way to look at all this. And again, this is what I was talking about earlier: is like people respond to this action, and the perspective they choose to take is often to evaluate it from a sort of domestic
Yeah, because
ideological or principled perspective or a moral perspective, not
yeah,
a nation state tactical perspective. And the
but
thing is the two are very separate. You know, it's like I'm kind of like once you're in the action, you the most obvious way to look at things are from the sort of level of the moving parts, and the level of the moving parts with regards to international conflict is the nation states. Um,
I
and
mean,
therefore evaluating it tactically from that perspective is to me the obvious first place to look at it, and then you can go and you can judge it from
Yeah, I would agree
from
with
down
that.
below,
At least that
that
level.
has no relevance to its tactical to the accuracy or correctness or value of the tactical choice. Like it's totally separate. It's a whole nother ballgame.
but America still stands for the foundation of the West, right? That's its principal
What
core
does
is
that
the
mean?
land of the free, land of the free. The land of the brave, isn't that what
Oh
it
yeah, I
means?
guess
Yeah,
that like it's the
exactly. And so you guys,
protector, and certain values are
are the
embedded in.
core of that. The whole thing
Yeah,
about
okay, I'll give you that.
exactly.
But when you say the West, I think the West is broader than just those American
Oh, I know the
values.
Anglosphere, of course, and that's why I say the Western
So I
Foundation.
don't know
It's
if
huge. It's an
But also,
ideal of understanding, right? Our law system, our litigation system, and how we've implemented it.
but that's
You
like
know,
the personality of the nation state is I think a way to kind of describe that, right? It's like you're saying, okay, the nation state has a personality and has its favorite colors and all these things, and none of that matters when you're in the middle of a battle. What matters is right when you're in a moving parts of a battle or a fight, the nicest person in the world, that their normal their sort of normal personality and choices and stuff, like a lot of that doesn't it's again, it's very separate from making a tactical choice in a real-time conflict situation. So it's loosely connected, because I think you're trying to say, well, that there is a personality, so there are these elements at a nation state level other than tactical considerations, but a lot of that is, again, it's quarterbacking after the fact or before the fact. It doesn't really come in.
what you got to say to that.
myself, I would always say that the best people in the military that give their life in servitude to it are volunteers, and they know why they volunteer and what they give.
Sure.
And what
What does
the
that have
Lord,
to do with the tactical considerations?
it's really true. I saw it. I've seen bad man, good man, and all between in that institution of the military. Be it that you're a civilian, and then you go corporate, right, and then religion. And some of them swap. Hence the power.
Uh-huh.
That's what it's about, really. The powers that be. And you know it.
Yeah, but what does any of that have to, I guess I keep asking
What
these,
it
like, you
has
keep
to do
bringing
is
these things
how
up in
the
in a
work.
conversation where I started talking about the tactical evaluation of a nation state conflict, and it's like, what does that have to do? If you're the general in command, the good guys, the good guys and the bad guys that are under your command, and you have to make a tactical decision to deploy them or to send them to a place. Like,
I understand where you come.
it doesn't matter, unfortunately, right? Like for better or worse, it doesn't. People, you want to think it does, but past a certain point, it's your decision to make tactically. And
Well, as commodity chief, I mean, with Trump, does he have enough fucking generals that you have? I don't even know how that shit's working, but I know that America still owns like the best military might the world has ever seen and probably will ever see. So it shows you the point of where Americans' dominance should be. But nevertheless, after that bomb that they didn't go bombing Russia, did they? They could have. They could have turned around and gone, any other fuck want to fuck with me? You know what I mean? They
I mean, I
didn't.
could beat up most shopkeepers and take their money and take all of the products at the store that I want any day of the week, but I don't.
Wow, this is so loony.
Right? Capacity is, again, like that. Basically, it's like if you are militarily superior, right? If you have more strength, more power, more options, it means that you are less likely, if you make a slight tactical error, you are less likely to suffer total defeat for it, right? It gives you more possibility, but it doesn't that never tells you what you should do tactically or strategically. It just gives you more options tactically and strategically.
Again, if you understand warfare, where we've come from, say from World War One, and the way it worked before then, hence to where we've gone through with America in the last 150 years maybe. So where the hell are we sitting here right now? We're still engaging in this crap, without actually drawing a line in it and going, oh no more, let's sort it out again.
Why would we do that?
because of, again, where it's leading us to, because it's all about money.
Where? We're fine.
I believe it will be a chaotic truth that people will give up their autonomy and life.
What are you talking about?
Well, because of the money system, the way it's going to go, it's going to go.
Are
this
we
way.
talking about the bombing of Iran at all?
Yeah, but this is still part of the whole process, isn't it? To where American dominance of the
your mind,
world,
but it's I don't even know where dots you're connecting.
Don't you think that's the truth? Come on, you're an antichrist, aren't you?
All I know, the truth that I know so far is that we bombed 3 of the sites in Iran where they were their nuclear facility. That's it.
Yeah, okay.
That's the only truth that I have right now to go off of.
Yeah, but still, nevertheless, like, Iran's gonna bomb something soon.
Maybe, I don't know. How much more can they do if we keep taking away their...
Quite a bit. I mean, especially if they're bringing like Russia. Russia goes, oh fuck it.
See, where did that come from?
because Russia is actually part of their network. Russia's taken a defeat with Syria. Remember, and we funded that through the ISIS program, which was I told you, there's always links, there's always things that are always happening.
Yeah, because you link it.
And so there's a rot here. So when people say, oh my God, we got to free people. Again, like I said, why didn't we stop it when the king of, Iran, Persia, was deposed and the Ayatollah became powerful? In that bloody revolution.
So what you're saying is that we made a tactical mistake then, right? But the thing is that's history now. Like, you can't go, well, we did this now. How does that? It's a different. Essentially, because of the format of government that the United States has, the strategic brain who makes these choices changes every 4 years. So, in a lot of ways, you can't actually compare our actions now in a sort of continuous concept with our actions 30 years ago.
Hang on, is that the problem then? So every 4 years you fuckers get a vote, you can be absolute with your ideas. Oh, it's not that, man. Oh, man, whatever.
Well, I mean, basically, we can elect strategic idiots, and most people are strategically incompetent.
No, but you have what is it? You got the electorate. Sorry, and you've got the judiciary.
Electoral.
yeah, you got the electorate that gives the numbers to the judiciary. What is it? Come on, the three parts of our systems.
Right. We
Well,
have the executive, the legislative, and the judicial.
here we go, and that's dicey rule of law, and where that comes from, and why it's should be separate. And now that here we go. So you saying, oh yeah, every 3, 4 years, 5 years, change that fuck off. It didn't change.
But
I
don't
mean,
y'all do the same thing
international
though? Y'all
relations and the
elect your
commander in
leaders.
chief is right. Like the military is almost exclusively the purview of the executive branch. As far as tactical decisions or actions made in an international context, it's almost entirely the executive branch, which is much more which changes, right? Much more. It is the least stable of the branches,
Well,
right? It's the one
Congress
that
changes every
changes the
two
most.
years. The House.
Well, it shifts, but again, because it's made up of so many people, it doesn't change. It's still more stable than the executive branch, right? The executive branch is, and it's intended to be, and the executive branch is intended to be the nimble branch, right? It is intended to be smaller, simpler, with one guy at the top who can make a tactical decision in time-sensitive contexts. The legislative branch cannot do anything in a time-sensitive context, right? It's not designed to.
Not allowed to,
There's
yes.
the judicial, right? The
Judiciary
executive branch had that as its purpose, is to be the head of the the sort of singular head, sufficiently singular that it can make time-sensitive choices
the
without
judiciary,
having to go through committee and everything.
yeah, but the judiciary sits there and sort of litigates over the whole bunch as well.
The judiciary basically evaluates things after they happen.
Yeah, well,
The judiciary has no ability to take action or
they shouldn't be allowed to, right?
right. They have no pre action taking powers. They only have evaluatory powers, right? They can make decisions about things that the other branches did after the fact. They can have opinions after the fact.
Yeah, I'm going through a reset at work, and that means everything in the building gets touched and will be in a different place come Monday.
Sounds awful.
Yeah, it's a lot of work, but hopefully the government that decided these changes will happen is ready for the feedback, because adjusting to instantaneous change, it really fucks with the religious people, the people that come and do the same thing for the same reason every single time.
I would just say it messes with anybody who's used to working within a reasonably stable system.
But I mean, things change all the time. What reasonably stable system is any adult still in from childhood, unless it's
Well, that's
highly
the gradual
artificial?
change. He specified sudden change. So I
Well,
think most people are okay with gradual change.
Well, it's important to realize that your experiences with the outer shape your inner, and your inner should be the most stable,
And vice versa.
because you can walk into a crazy external environment, but if you are cool with you being there, the worst things can happen in front of you, and you will still be cool with you.
That's true.
Yeah, man, I know how to actually talk down a troop. You wouldn't believe it. I've seen it and I've done it, where people have like looked at me and gone, "Oh shit," and then I've said, "No, relax, guys." No, seriously, and told the motherfucker to leave. Done.
No, I get it.
Yeah, it's an air of going like, seriously, this is gonna end bad. I don't wanna see us going to hell.
Well, speaking of ending and going to hell,
I'll
that's
be
what I
going
have to
there.
do.
I know.
It's that time.
Oh, Jeff.
I
Well,
love the conversation tonight, though. So, thanks for that. This is what I want to get back to.
Well, it's nice to have, such a clean, like real world, like factual action that you can like circle hypotheticals around. So I enjoyed talking hypotheticals, but I was enjoying it's been enjoyable having sort of that anchor.
Yeah. Well, enjoy it because I think the water's going to get muddier and muddier by tomorrow.
Oh, undoubtedly, because
So,
more and more
it'll
people
be.
will have their opinions. Will
It'll,
even the slow ones will have gotten around to having one.
yeah. Like all
Hey,
kind of stories we
I need a
bouncing
green
around.
card. Who's going to marry me in this chat? Hello, I'm Plastic African. Marry me. Come on, guys, let's do it. Let's do it. No, I'm
You have to
joking.
talk to Ren.
Oh,
Track's
fuck.
married. It's not going to be me.
hey,
Exactly.
Oh, in
Fraudulent.
this chat, so that
Should have
opens up
done
your
it with that
options a little
girl I
bit.
fucking wrote to. Fuck.
I mean, Plastic's a special dude. I might be able to convince my wife to move to Utah.
Oh,
You're funny, man.
wow.
That's
Making
funny.
connections.
Oh, there we go. Here we go. Yay.
And if we move to Utah, then as a
This would be
man,
the
I'm
best. Yeah, because I'm a
but,
Mormon as well. Yeah, fuck it. I'll use
but
that card.
but hey, you just have to pretend in front of the judge that you're fixing to be my bitch.
The bitch.
Well, because as a man, I'm allowed to
Bitch.
have more than one wife, but as a woman, you're not allowed to have more than one husband. So if you want a green card, you just have to say in front of the judge, "I'm Untrack's bitch." That's all you have to say, and you will have a green card. And it doesn't matter if you're bigger, better, stronger, smarter, make more money than me. I got you a green card, bitch. I'm sorry. It was a sad joke.
No, that
It
was
was a
good. Ooh, that was one of
You
my
know
favorite endings ever.
All right.
That was
Well, I'm gonna
fun.
let you guys go. Thank you for having me back up again.
Thank you.
Happy
Thanks,
Saturday.
Track.
Happy
It was
weekend to
all
everyone.
worth it.
Oh man, I'm coming, bro. And I'll twist that knife in, man. Especially when I say, "Hey, he treated me bad, Judge."
I love you guys. Take
I
care of
got
each
that.
other,
Amen.
and I'll see you again. Take
Yikes.
care.
We'll try.
Toodles. Good luck.
All right, African, you have anything you want to say?
No, sorry, Jeff. I think I've upset everyone tonight.
What?
Well, what?
I was
Never
about
mind.
to say how much I enjoyed having you, and thank you for
Thank you, man.
showing up.
God bless you. Gotta say
But
that.
you forestalled all of that with your
Oh, did I? Ah,
self
damn.
pity.
That's the best way to be as friends, man. Give each other like bullshit. Fuck you, Jeff. No, you're the best, man. And thanks to everyone here tonight as well. All the crap everyone gives me, and people that rock up. Yeah, you guys are fucking fantastic always. I
Oh,
mean
well,
that.
you too.
God bless you all. And actually, fucking yeah, we are the best in the world. You know that.
Well,
Yeah,
we're
we live,
trying.
man.
We're getting there. 16 to go.
God bless.
Take care.
Bye.
All right. Ren, you have anything you want to leave us with?
I just my random brain thoughts was, we're talking about Utah, so that was our last topic. You know what that and that is still actually only 1 degree of away from the Iranian missile discussion. You know why?
The Iranian.
Moab.
Oh,
Moab.
because of religion?
No, Moab. Moab is a town in Utah. It's also
Yeah.
the name. It's also the name. It's also the acronym for a certain bomb that
Oh.
might have been used.
Oh, like tonight?
Yeah, the Moabs. There,
Oh, yeah, I didn't know about
it's
that
a
part.
particular set of ordinance. Yeah,
Okay.
I just thought that was funny.
All
All
right.
right.
Well, y'all can and Flo is doing his thing tonight. Are you, like his subathon. He's going all night.
Mm.
Or he's going as long as he gets subs.
Well, I haven't harassed him in a while. Maybe I will.
Yeah, he just started, so y'all can go check out Flo.
All right.
Here's
See
his
y'all
link.
later.
Here's the link. All right, take care, people. That's the link to Flo's. He's getting started. Um, no, that was pretty funny. So y'all can go watch him there. Let me see who else might be paneling. TML's out. I iFi's out, but it's this stream that he just left running. All right, yeah, just go say hi to Dusty. Help him get his subs. Pick up any tips, and then we can try him on this channel tomorrow. If he figures out ways to get his subs other than like streaming all night, let me know, and I'll try some of them tomorrow, and that might get us over that hump. We're almost there, guys. I have Monday or Tuesday open for the shirtless disco party. So it'd be nice if we can get there before then. Otherwise, it'll have to wait. And I want to catch this momentum while it's happening. All right. As usual, thanks. And thanks for watching. Thanks for participating. Thanks for coming up. Thanks for donating. And most of all, thanks for being you. Thanks for being yourself. Except for the ones that I have to ban and time out and all that because they go outside of certain lines. But even they are being their own charming selves in a way. So thank you for being you and being here. And I'm pretty sure I'll see you tomorrow. Tomorrow's my Friday, so I'll be able to stream longer. All right, take care. Hopefully we're all here tomorrow. And if we are, I will see you then. Out.